Hi, good evening to all of you. So, we are here for discussing the answers to the test which was held, I think, 2 3 days back, if I'm right. Okay, fine. So, I'm Rashid and I'll be taking your discussion related to history, art, and culture. Clear? Spread throughout the paper, so just correlate with the question number. I hope all of you have the papers with you. Okay, fine. Even if you don't have, I'll just dictate the questions also for clarity. Meanwhile, just understand, clear? The real purpose of this discussion is not only to discuss the answers. By this time, you may be knowing the answers to all the questions. Clear? The real purpose of this discussion is to identify the potential areas from where questions are expected to come in preliminary examination. So we'll try to explore those areas through these questions. Just let you know, just to enable you to predict the potential questions which may be asked in prelims 2025. Okay. So let us start the question now. Clear. We have a limit. We have limited time. We'll start with last question, question number 100. If you have paper, I'll just dictate the question also. The last question was with reference to the Mihir Bhoj. Consider the following statements. The first statement is he was a successful and ambitious ruler of the Rashtrakutas of Deccan. Even if you have gone through NCRT, you will just answer this question very clearly. This statement is wrong. Okay? He was the ruler of Gurjara Pratihar dynasty. Okay? There was a tripartite struggle going on among the three dynasties for the mastery of Tonnage. Okay? Among these were Pratiharas, Palas, and Rashtrakutas. So this person Mihir Bhoj was a person belonging to Pratihara dynasty. The statement is wrong. Clear? First of all, let us discuss the answer, then I'll let you know the importance of this topic. Clear? Second is he conquered areas of Gujarat and Malwa. Ruling from Gujarat, also known as Gujarat. Clear? He was able to establish control over Malwa in central India, Gujarat in western India. This statement is perfectly right. Clear? Third one is he was among the three big powers of the time during tripartite struggle, as we had discussed: Palas, Pratiharas, and Rashtrakutas. This statement is also right. So 2 and 3 are right. The first one is wrong. Okay. So answer obviously would be only 2, that is B. Now coming to the major thing. Clear? This question has already been asked. Clear? This topic comes under a broad heading known as early medieval phase in Indian history. Early medieval phase is a transitory phase from 750 to 1200 AD, when ancient India got transformed into medieval India with arrival of Turks in India. Clear? So this phase is a transitory phase of almost 450 years, and this is very important for your preliminary examination. Clear? What are the topics which are asked from early medieval phase? You should know. Tripartite struggle is only one of them. Clear? In fact, much more important than Pratiharas, clear, were the dynasties of Palas and the Rashtrakutas. Clear? What are the things to be known for Palas and the Rashtrakutas? Clear? If you look into the dynasty of the Palas, clear, their most important thing to be known about them is they were the last rulers to patronize the religion of Buddhism. Clear? So Buddhism was patronized by the Pala rulers. After the end of Palas, Buddhism also came to an end from the land of its birth, even though Buddhism remained to be flourishing in other parts of the world. Clear? Palas are also important for patronizing Nalanda University, and Palas only established an institution known as Vikramshila University related to Vajrayan sect of Buddhism. Clear? Vajrayan sect believed in magical rituals of Buddhism. Clear? Palas are also to be prepared with respect to the beginning of miniature paintings in India. Clear? Miniature paintings were started by the Palas in India. Throughout ancient India, we had a painting which is known as mural paintings. Clear? Mural painting started from Bhimbetka, and mural painting reached its glory under the Satvahans and Guptas in the caves of Ajanta and Ellora. Clear? This is miniature painting started by the Palas. Miniature painting reaches glory under the Mughals. The most important ruler being Jahangir. He was highly interested in painting. So Palas are very important for education, for culture. Okay. Next major dynasty along in the tripartite struggle, this dynasty was that of Rashtrakutas. Okay. They are very important culturally. You should be thorough with them. Okay. Rashtrakutas started a new language in India. This was the language of Kannada. Clear? In fact, the first Kannada work was written by Pal Rashtrakuta ruler Amogh Varsh. Clear? The work is titled as Kavi Rajmar. Clear? This is one thing. So you need to prepare Rashtrakutas with respect to language and literature. This is one topic to be done. Clear? With respect to Rashtrakutas, they are very important for architecture, especially rock cut architecture. They constructed some magnificent rock cut monuments in India. The most important being rock cut temple dedicated to Lord Shiv at Ellora. This temple is known as Kailash Temple. Okay, it is the largest rock cut temple in India, constructed by Rashtrakutas. Okay, so you need to prepare Rashtrakutas from language and literature perspective, and also from the perspective of architecture. Okay, so do prepare these two dynasties. Early medieval phase is very important. Okay, for your information, early medieval phase is important for philosophy also. Okay, last year, one philosopher was asked from this phase in Prelim, that is Ramanuj. Okay, you need to be well prepared with Adi Shankaracharya, his philosophy known as Advaitwad. Ramanuj, his philosophy known as Visishtha Advaitwad. Madhavacharya, whose philosophy is known as Dvaitwad, and Basav or Basavanna, who started a sect known as Lingayas in the southern part of India, present Karnataka. Okay? You need to also prepare about temple architecture under the Rajputs in early medieval phase, especially Chandelas of Bundelkhand in the region, especially Khajuraho, clear? Central India. This topic is important. So question was asked basically to make you clear. You need to be thorough with early medieval phase. You get questions on early medieval phase regularly. Our Prime Minister unveiled the large statue of Ramanuj in Hyderabad last year. He gave the philosophy of Visishtha Advaitwad. These two statements were there in last year prelims examination. Okay, so be very clear about early medieval phase. Most likely, one question would be there in the paper from early medieval history. Okay, one such question is related to tripartite struggle. Okay, answer is clear. Areas are very clear. The purpose of this discussion is to identify the potential areas. Is it fine? We'll move to another question. The next question that was given to your paper was question number 68, I suppose. Okay? The question is related to Indus Valley civilization. If you have paper with you, question number 68. Consider the following statements about the Indus Valley civilization. Okay? Now, statements were, during this time period, both men and women wore beads. Okay? Indus Valley civilization is known for bead. Bead making workshop has been found at many places like Lothal also, Kalibangan, and Fatehabad region of modern Haryana. Okay? In fact, not only Bhirana, we have a very important site at Fatehabad that is known as Banawali. Okay? These are very important sites in Haryana. In Haryana, you need to be thorough with the site known as Rakhigadi in the district of Hisar, which is the largest Indus Valley site presently in India. Okay? So these major sites. Overall, the largest site is Mohenjo-daro. Within Indian territory, after partition, the largest site is Rakhigadi in the district of Hisar in Haryana. Okay? Third is, there is no evidence of dairy product consumption during this time period. Clear. Dairy product consumption was there. Clear. In fact, domestication of animals started from Mesolithic phase only. Clear. And since large-scale domestication started, animal husbandry also started, and that led to consumption of dairy products as well. So all the three statements are basically right. Clear. Dairy products. There is no, the answer is there is no evidence. There is evidence of dairy consumption in Indus Valley civilization. So this statement would be wrong. Clear. So 1 and 2 statements are right. Third one is wrong. Is it clear? The statement is, how many statements given above are correct? Only 2 statements are correct, 1 and 2. Third is wrong because we have evidence of dairy consumption. Animal husbandry was no. Clear? Now again, Clear? More important than this. Clear? If you want to write, be thorough with Indus Valley civilization. Clear? It is most likely you will get one question on Indus Valley civilization, especially the latest development. Clear? Related to pictographic script. Huge amount has been allocated by Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu for deciphering the script. Clear? At the same time, still research going on in Haryana, in the region of Rakhigari. Still we have found large stadium for sports. Clear? So people in Haryana had love of sports right from Indus Valley civilization. Clear? So prepare this topic thoroughly, because normally anyone who will prepare question on ancient India, they will not try to bypass Indus Valley civilization. So with it has potential to be there in the paper also. Clear? The second one, answer is clear, Indus Valley. Moving to the third question. The third question was question number 41. Consider the following material cultures that were related to the age of Mauryas. Clear? This question is directly from NCERT. You'll find all the four statements in NCERT only. That is old NCERT by R. Sharma. Clear? Use of iron in weaponry. Iron began to be used from later Vedic age only. Clear? Abundance of punchmark coins. They were the earliest coins to be circulated in India, also known as panas or karsapanas. Clear? Third is use of burnt bricks in construction. Clear? People had the knowledge of burnt bricks from Indus Valley civilization, and use of ring wells for irrigation. All the four statements are absolutely correct. Clear? Answer would be all four. Clear? Now what to be done? Just understand, more important thing. Clear? My purpose of coming here is not only to tell you answers. Clear? If you are going through current developments related to history, this has become a very dynamic subject these days. Clear? 6 sites has been included in the tentative list of World Heritage Site under UNESCO by Ministry of Culture. Clear? Among those 6 sites, recently only just few days back, clear, there's one site related to Ashokan edicts or Ashokan inscriptions. Clear? Most likely be prepared about Ashokan inscriptions thoroughly, which are divided into 14 major rock edicts, 14 minor rock edicts, and the 7 pillar edicts. Clear? This time you are expected that question would be asked on Ashokan inscriptions or Ashokan edicts. Clear? They were royal orders to be known as edicts. Look into the work of James Prinsep, the officer of British India Company, who rather solved the mystery that Devanam Piyadasi mentioned Ashokan inscription was Ashok himself. Clear? He was an officer of British India Company. He solved this mystery in 1837. Ashokan inscriptions, you are expected a question, because among the 6 sites, one of them is Ashokan edicts included in the tentative list by Ministry of Culture recently. Clear? This is another topic to be prepared for upcoming examination. Is it clear? Keep on writing these potential areas. The purpose of discussion is to identify those areas. Clear? Next, moving to the next question, question number 82. Clear? With reference to the Vaisheshika school of philosophical thought, consider the following statements. Clear? As I told you, philosophy is very important. Clear? Before I discuss this question, question number 82, if you have papers with you, Vaisheshika school. Clear? See, first of all, understand there were 6 schools of orthodox philosophy. Clear? Among those 6 orthodox schools of philosophy, one among them was known as Vaisheshika school. Clear? Why we call them orthodox philosophy? All of them provided their own means to attain moksha or salvation. Clear? So we have Samkhya school, we have Nyaya school, we have Yoga school, we have Vaisheshika school. Clear? Apart from 6 orthodox school of philosophy, we have one materialistic school of philosophy known as Lokayat. Lokayat was given by Charvak. Clear? This is another school of philosophy. Be well versed with these schools of philosophy, not only Vaisheshika. You can get asked question on other schools of philosophy, the founder also. Clear? Vaisheshika school, which has been asked, this school was founded by a great philosopher. This philosopher was Kannad. Clear? He founded the Vaisheshika school. Clear? What is the importance of this school? This school marks the beginning of physics in India. Clear? Because this school deals with dynamics of atom. Clear? The term for atom used in this school is known as Anu. Clear? Therefore, it deals with Anu or atomic theory, and it marks the beginning of physics in India. Clear? Now, what are the statements? We'll look into Vaisheshika school. Clear? First is, it developed the atomic theory that all material objects are made of atoms. That is perfectly fine. Clear? Second is, it believes in the physicality of universe and is considered to be realistic and objective philosophy that governs the universe. Obviously, it's related to physics. Both the statements are absolutely right related to Vaisheshika school. Clear? In fact, clear? The person who has made this paper must have looked into PYQ. Clear? In fact, last year only when Jain philosophy was asked, clear? What was the theme of that question? Clear? Jain philosophy and Vardhaman Mahavir also believed universe functions not because of God. Clear? Universe functions because of continuous interaction between Jeev and Ajeev. That is biotic and abiotic community. Clear? And due to interaction of Jeev and Ajeev, the universe functions not according to God. Clear? Even though Jainism recognizes God, Jainism places God below the Jina. That is, the Jain, a person who has concurred, his impulses. Clear? So this is an important concept in Jain philosophy. It is highly similar with Vaisheshika school, which was given in Brahmanical thought. Clear? Very important principle. Both the statements are right, but point is, be prepared with all the 6 orthodox schools of philosophy, the founder, the major philosophy as well. One materialistic school of philosophy, and this materialistic school is the Lokayat philosophy given by Charvak. And I'll let you know, clear? There's one similarity also, clear? If you go through ancient India, apart from Buddhism and Jainism, they're very important for prelims, clear? There's one another sect which was established in ancient India. This sect is known as Ajivikas, clear? And Ajivikas was believed in the philosophy of Niyati or destiny, clear? This is similar to the Lokayat philosophy or materialistic philosophy, clear? Niyati says good or bad deeds is not going to change the future, which is predetermined, clear? And Ajivika sect was established by a person known as Makali Goshala, clear? And it was adopted as a religion by Bindusar, the son and successor of Chandragupta Maurya, clear? So these are similarities. Look into the schools of philosophy. You get questions related to philosophy from ancient times, clear? This was another question. Moving to the next one. So both the statements here are right, clear? Moving to the next one. Question number 83. Consider the following statements concerning the fiscal practices in ancient Mahajanapadas. Clear? As you all know, 16 Mahajanapadas were there in 6th century BC. Among those 16 Mahajanapadas, 11 were monarchies, 5 were republics. Republics were also known as Ganas. Clear? And among those republics, the most prominent was Vaishali in North Bihar, which was ruled by Lichavis. Clear? So all 5 republics were in Nepal Terai, that is border of India and Nepal. Clear? And in the Gangetic plain we had 11 monarchies. 11 plus 5 were 16 Mahajanapadas mentioned in Jain and Buddhist sources. Clear? Coming to the fiscal practices. Clear? Number one, first statement is Bhag referred to a levy exacted from agriculture in. That is right. Clear? 1/4 of the agriculture produce was to be collected as Bhag. Bhag was land revenue. Clear? This was collected from later Vedic phase. Clear? From Vedic age we collected 2 taxes. Clear? Bali and Bhag. Bali was voluntary offering. Bhag was agriculture tax, which was 1/4 of the total produce. Clear? It was collected even during Mahajanapadas as well. This first statement is absolutely right. Individuals engaged in crafts or foraging were permitted to fulfill their tax obligation through contributions in kind. Obviously, clear? Not in coins, but contributions in kind. Whatever they produce, they surrender part of the produce to the ruler or Rajan of Mahajanapada. Clear? The statement equally is right. Third is, members of the Kshatriya and Brahmin classes typically enjoyed exemptions from tax liabilities across various Mahajanapadas. Yes, clear? Brahmins and Kshatriyas were not the taxpayers. If you read NCRTs also carefully, they write the major taxpayers were the Vaishyas. Clear? They were the producing class, they were the agriculturists, and they only surrendered bhag, that is 1/4 of the total produce as land revenue. Clear? So all the three statements are right. Clear? Now coming to Mahajanpas. Clear? Two or three things you should prepare related to Mahajanpas. This is a very important topic of ancient India, period of Mahajanpas. You must be knowing about the evolution. The first term that was in ancient India was Jan, which referred to Aryan tribes. Clear? From Jan, we had the term known as Janpad, which meant territory. Clear? That is later Vedic phase. And when large territories began to be ruled by ruler, it came to known as Mahajanpad. Clear? The evolution starts with Jan, then Janpad, and then Mahajanpads. And Mahajanpads finally led to the establishment of empire. Clear? Which is known as Chakravartin Kshetra. Clear? So when Aryans came to India, they came in waves or groups known as Jan. Clear? Jan began to acquire territories known as Janpad. Janpad became large to be known as Mahajanpad. Clear? And Mahajanpad ultimately converted into Chakravartin Kshetra, as mentioned in Arthashastra, to be known as empire in ancient India. Mauryans being the first major empire builders. Clear? This major development, so Mahajanpad. Clear? And in the period of Mahajanpad have this classification. 5 of them were known as Ganas. Clear? And 11 of them were known as monarchies. Clear? So there was monarchies and Ganas. Clear? Just because of Ganas, which was republic in nature. Clear? India is known as mother of all democracy. Clear? And at the same time, you must know. Clear? Both Gautam Buddha and Mahavir belong to Ganas, republics, not monarchies. Clear? Gautam Buddha belonged to the clan of Shakyas at Shravasti, again located in Nepal border. Clear? Mahavir belonged to the Mahajanpad of Vaishali. Clear? And not only this, both of them died in this region, and the last rites were performed by another gun. And this gun is known as the gun of Mallas. Clear? Mallas with the capital at Kushinagar, presently located in eastern Uttar Pradesh. Clear? So both these Mahajanpas are important for Gautam Buddha and Mahavir both. Clear? So Mahavir was from Vaishali, Gautam Buddha was from Shravasti. Gautam Buddha preached his first message at Sarnath, but most of the time he preached his message in the hometown of Shravasti. Clear? So maximum number of time he preached his message at Shravasti. His first sermon at Sarnath near Banaras, which is known as Dharma Chakra Parvartan, setting the religious wheel in motion. Clear? These informations must be there with you. Clear? These are very important related to 16 Mahajanpas. Clear? This is one thing. Locate on map also. We don't have time, but locate on map also. All 5 Mahajanpas, that is Vaishali, then Mallas, Kurus, Panchalas, and Shravasti. Clear? And remaining of them 11 are monarchies. Clear? 2 monarchies in the extreme northwestern side, Kandhar and Kamboj. Clear? 1 Mahajanpad in East Central India, Avanti, with its capital at Ujjain and Mahishmati. 1 capital of Mahajanpad in Deccan, Asmak. Clear? Otherwise, all the Mahajanpads in Gangetic Plain. The most important being Magad, with its capital at Rajgriha and Patliputra. Okay? Patliputra is again very important, right? Kumrahar Palace has been discovered recently, which was a 80-pillar hall discovered by ASI, Archaeological Survey of India, just few months back at Kumrahar. Clear? And Kumrahar is located in the suburbs of modern Patna. Clear? Which was basically Patliputra in ancient India. Prepare this topic for your prelims. Clear? 80-pillar hall has been found recently at Kumrahar. Clear? And this pillar is also mentioned by Megasthenes in his work Indica. Clear? Megasthenes came to the court of Chandragupta Maurya, deputed by Greek ruler Seleucus Nicator. Clear? And here only I'll let you know. Do prepare Seleucus Nicator also, because Seleucus Nicator gave 4 areas to Chandragupta Maurya. One was Gedrosia. Clear? And right now, Iran has decided to shift its major base from Tehran to Gedrosia. Clear? So Gedrosia is very important, which was given by Seleucus Nicator to Chandragupta Maurya. Clear? So this was the region given by Seleucus Nicator to Chandragupta Maurya, who was defeated in 303 BC. These informations are current developments. Clear? You need to be well versed with these current developments because questions are framed related to current developments also. Clear? So Kumrahar is very important. This place, Gedrosia, is very important. Clear? I'll let you know 4 areas surrendered by Seleucus. Area, Arachosia, Gedrosia, Paropamisade. Clear? All located in the present region of Pakistan and Afghanistan. Clear? This was on Iranian coast, Gedrosia. Clear? And it is very crucial for strategic importance of Iran. And another thing I'll let you know, Gedrosia is just adjoining to a region known as Gwadar. Clear? If you look into map, and Gwadar port is very, very important because this is a port in Pakistan being constructed by China. It's important very much. All are they related to strategic importance. Clear? So Mahajanapadas. Clear? This was all the 3 statements are right here related to fiscal policies of Mahajanapadas. Bhag was collected. Individuals engaged in crowds paid revenue in terms of kind, and at the same time, members of Kshatriya and Brahmins were exempted from payment of taxes. Clear? Please try to relocate on maps also. They are very important ones. You need to know. Clear? Paucity of time is there, but do understand. These are very important ones. Clear? Gedrosia, be prepared. Kumrahar, be prepared about these 2 locations. Clear? Coming to the next question. Question number 8. 08. Clear? Consider the following statement with reference to early Vedic and the later Vedic phase. Clear? Number 1. The condition of women was the same during Vedic and the later Vedic periods. Absolutely wrong. Clear? Early Vedic phase from 1500 BC to 1000 BC is known as golden age for women in India. Clear? We have women saints also. We have women composers of Vedic hymns known as Brahmavadinis. We have reference to worship of female divinities like Usha and Aditi. There is no reference to child marriage in the Rig Veda. So women enjoyed huge status in the early Vedic phase. This statement is wrong. Their position got deteriorated in the later Vedic phase because they began to be considered as liabilities with practice of agriculture. Clear? Because agriculture is largely considered to be male dominated exercise. Clear? So this statement is very wrong or completely wrong. It's a conceptual one. Clear? Coming to this, the later Vedic period saw a rise in extent of kingdoms as opposed to the Rig Veda. Yeah. In the later Vedic phase, only Jan got transferred into Janpad. Territories became important. Janpad got transferred into Mahajanapadas. Clear? So this statement is right. Clear? The nomadic lifestyle got settled into sedentary life. Land or territory became important. Kingdoms began to be formed. This is right. Clear? The prominence of Indra faded during the later Vedic period. Instead, importance was given to Prajapati. This is right. Clear? Indra and Agni both, along with Varun, Marut, all lost their importance. Now, creator of universe became very important, and this creator of universe is known as Prajapati. Clear? Understand culturally very important concept here. Clear? First of all, in the later Vedic phase, Prajapati began to be worshipped as the creator of universe. Clear? Later on, this task was given by Prajapati to another divinity. This divinity is known as God Brahma. Clear? He was considered to be the creator of universe. Trinity of gods emerged in Gupta period. Lord Brahma as creator, Lord Vishnu as preserver, Lord Shiva as destroyer of universe. Clear? But later on it was realized Lord Brahma alone cannot create the universe. Clear? Lord Brahma in turn created another divinity, and this divinity is known as Ardhanareshwar. Clear? Ardhanareshwar, the sculpture of Ardhanareshwar is found in the caves of Elephanta. That is half god Shiv, half goddess Parvati. Clear? Therefore it is known as Ardhanareshwar. Clear? And therefore it was realized combining male and female entities together in Ardhanareshwar can also not create universe. Therefore, Ardhanareshwar was separated, and separate Lord Shiv, separate goddess Parvati was created, and just because of this, clear, phallus symbols or shivling is regarded as the origin of, a symbol of origin of universe. Clear? And phallus symbols or shivling is intimately connected with worship of Lord Shiv. Clear? This marks the origination of universe mythologically. Clear? So it's Prajapati, then followed by Brahma, and Lord Brahma followed by Ardhanareshwar, Then Ardhanarishwar separation to God Shiv and Goddess Parvati. Clear? This concept is there which needs to be understood culturally as well. Clear? So obviously, Prajapati became important in later Vedic phase. This statement is right. Fourth one, the pattern of social system, that is Varna, continued as it is from Rig Vedic to the later Vedic period. That is obviously wrong. Clear? Varna system was not in Rig Vedic phase. Varna system was in the later Vedic phase. Rig Vedic phase was marked by equality. Three social divisions were there: the priestly class, the warrior class, the common people. Clear? It got divided into four Varnas, which is mentioned in Purusha Shukta hymn in the 10th chapter of the Rig Veda. That is 10th mandal of the Rig Veda. Clear? And it was applied in the later Vedic phase. Obviously, this statement would be wrong. Clear? So first one related to women is wrong. Clear? Second and third is right. The fourth one again is wrong. Answer would be 2 and 3. Yeah, please. That it would be wrong, because at that time there was no concept of Ardhanarishwar. There was a concept of Prajapati. From Prajapati, the concept of Brahma came. From Brahma, we had Ardhanarishwar Gupta period. And from Ardhanarishwar, we have God Shiv and Goddess Parvati. Clear? So that would be wrong. Clear? Next. It is only Prajapati. And that is mentioned in NCRTs also. Clear? Only Prajapati. Clear? This is question number 8. Coming to question number 11. In the context of social structure evolved during the early medieval period, consider the following statements. Early medieval period again. The system of land grants strengthened the position of the Brahmanas in the rural areas. Clear? Obviously, land grants were given to Brahmins only, known as Brahmadev. Clear? And that marked the beginning of feudalism also, which is known as Samanta system. Feudalism in India. Clear? The condition of women worsened in this period. Obviously, clear? Condition of women worsened because of two things. Clear? One was basically the Parda system, which became very popular, and second major thing was polygamy. Clear? With arrival of Turkish warriors in India, which affected condition of women. So position of women got worsened in the society. Clear? Anulom marriages were discouraged and Pratilom marriages were favored. No, both the types of marriages were opposed. Clear? It led to mixing of varnas. Clear? So first statement is right, second is right, third is wrong. So answer would be only 2, please. Anulom and Pratilom. Anulom marriages were those marriages in which the male of higher varna married to the female of lower varna. That is known as Anulom. Clear? When it was men from lower varna marrying the women of higher varna, it was known as Pratilom. Clear? And for your information, the offspring generated by such marriages, mixing of varnas, clear? These offsprings were declared in Indian society as Antyaj, which means untouchable. Clear? So untouchables got generated largely because of mixing of varnas. Clear? And untouchables are different from Shudras. Clear? Initially in ancient India, there's a clear-cut difference between Shudras and Antyaj. Shudras were proper member of the Varna system. Antyaj were not the members of Varna system. They were outclassed. They were untouchables. As of now, both the sections has been combined together as Dalits or scheduled caste. Clear? In ancient India, there's a difference between Shudras and Antyaj. Anulom and Pratilom marriages. Clear? 8 different types of marriages also mentioned. Clear? These marriages are also important, which were not approved largely by Brahmins. Clear? So the statement first is right, second is right, third is wrong. Only 2. Clear? That is question number 11. Moving to question number 20. Consider the following statement. It is known as the work of art, metal, war inlay in wood. It is famous for its intricately carved symmetrical pattern. The patterns inlaid are visually intricate geometric forms or flora from Mughal arts. This is related to Mainpuri Turkish. Mainpuri is located in Uttar Pradesh. Why this question has been asked, I'll let you know. There was an article on Indian Express related to all these things. Why? Sambhal on craft also, Bhagpat home furnishings also, Barabanki handloom also, along with Mainpuri Turkish. And all these 4 things are common in one respect. They are dying in contemporary times. Government wants to preserve this local culture and heritage. It was an article on Indian Express. It is totally related to current developments. Clear? So answer here is Mainpuri Turkish. If you look into current developments, you'll find. But don't worry. Clear? such current development. Don't run after such questions. I'm telling you. Clear? Anyway, one important thing I'll let you know. These questions are given just to make it clear. You need to prepare with these areas. 15 to 16 questions would be asked from history, art and culture out of 100. Clear? Believe me, take my words. No one can correct 15 to 16 questions. Even students having optional history also. Clear? Your target should be to correct 10 to 11 questions. Clear? Don't run after abstract questions. But don't commit error in conventional questions, because veterans don't commit error there. Clear? Like Vedic questions, Indus Valley, philosophy. Try to correct 10 to 11. If you correct 10 to 11 from all 6 areas, 60 to 65 questions are done and you are through in prelims. Clear? Always make this clear. Don't run after abstract questions. One or two would obviously be given there also. Don't get tense with those questions. Clear? 10 questions at max, that will be sufficient. Clear? And that is with every module. Geography, polity, economy, history and everyone. Clear? You are not supposed to talk. You are supposed to get the minimum threshold. Clear? Then moving to the next one. Next question is question number 22. Consider the following statement in relation to the Bhakti movement in South India. Very easy one. Nayanars were leaders who were Shaiva devotees. Alvars and Nayanars were there. Alvars were devotees of Lord Vishnu. Nayanars were devotees of Lord Shiv. That is a very right statement, 8th century. Then Nalarya Divya Prabandhan. Prabandhan literature is very important. Yeah? Prabandhan literature was one of the Alvar's major anthologies of composition. Anthologies you should know. Anthology is a term which means any composition done by multiple composers together. That is known as anthologies. Clear? Now, again, I'll let you know. Clear? This is a very important one. Both the statements are right. Clear? Anthologies you should prepare very thoroughly, especially with respect to Sangam literature. Clear? It's a favorite topic. Clear? Anthologies were there in Sangam literature, which are known in Sangam literature as Ittu Togai. Clear? Prepare with all the Ittu Togai. Clear? Ittu Togai are anthologies in Sangam literature, which were written in Tamil. Anthologies are important for Sangam period. Clear? Be prepared with Sangam literature. They are very important one. Clear? This is both the statements are right. Clear? Alvars and Nayanars. They started Bhakti movement in South India. Clear? Next question is question number modern history. Question number 98. Clear? 98 is after the Santhal uprising subsided, what were the measures taken by the colonial government? This question has been asked. Similar question has been asked in PYQ also. Clear? The territories called Santhal Pargana were created. That is right. Clear? It became illegal for a Santhal to transfer land to non-Santhal. Even now, property cannot be purchased in Santhal Pargana by outsiders. Clear? These were the developments. Clear? You should know information about Santhal. Santhal uprising was known as Santhal Hul. It took place in the year 1855-56. Clear? It was led by siblings. The two major siblings being Siddhu and Kanho. But his sister also, Chand Kanho. Clear? Why you should know about Chand? Clear? All these siblings are known as Murmu brothers. Clear? Murmu brothers are very important. Murmu siblings are very important. Even our present president, clear, comes from Murmu lineage. Clear? Therefore, they are Murmu brothers, Siddhu, Kanho, Chand. Clear? They led the Santhal uprising, which was brutally suppressed by the British just before the mighty revolt of 1857. Clear? So, Santhal uprising, both the statements are absolutely correct. Clear? Moving to the next one, question number 99. Yeah, clear? Which of the following events took place during Lord William Bentinck? See, I'll tell you one important thing in modern India. Many questions you can correct only with Governor Generals and the tenure. Clear? Remember the Governor Generals and the tenure. Many questions will correct. This like this question. Clear? Starting with Warren Hastings, ending with Lord Canning, the last Governor General after Government of India Act 1858. That is under Company's Rule. Clear? Lord William Bentinck was Governor General from 1828 till the year 1835. Do remember, from 1828 till 1833 was Governor General of Bengal. From 1833 to 1835, he was Governor General of India as per Charter Act of 1833. Even this was our class to last year. Clear? That under which act Governor General of Bengal got upgraded to Governor General of India. Clear? So Lord William Bentinck became the last Governor General of Bengal and the first Governor General of India. Now, what happened during this 7 years in India? Clear? The statement: introduction of English as the official language. Yes. Clear? Based on Macaulay Committee recommendations. Clear? It led to introduction of English as official language exactly on the date 7th of March 1835. Clear? On this date, Persian was replaced by English as India's official language. Since then till now, English remains to be India's official language. Clear? The date is 7th of March 1835. Clear? Abolition of sati, another cruel rights. Yeah, sati was abolished in 1829 as per the demand by Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Clear? This was done by William Bentinck. Treaty of perpetual friendship with Ranjit Singh. See, if you have got the answers, in answers it is all the three are correct. Clear? But the third statement is wrong. Make it clear. Clear? Treaty of perpetual friendship was signed by the British with Maharaja Ranjit Singh in the year 1809, which is also known as Treaty of Amritsar. Clear? The Governor General at that time was Charles Metcalfe. Clear? He was the Governor General, Charles Metcalfe, at that time. And at that time, Treaty of Perpetual Friendship was signed with Ranjit Singh. Why? Because Punjab was given very special position, because Punjab was treated as buffer zone by the British to protect themselves from any invader coming from Central or West Asia. Clear? So they adopted a very sensitive approach towards Punjab. Clear? In fact, this approach is also known in British history as approach of masterly inactivity. Clear? They remained to be inactive in this region, which was a diplomatic masterstroke. It is known as masterly inactivity towards Punjab, because Punjab was treated as buffer zone between British on the one hand and invaders coming from Central and West Asia. Clear? This was, so this statement would be wrong. Only 1 and 2 would be correct. So answer would be only 2, answer would not be only 3. You have to make a correction here. Clear? Third one is wrong. It's very clear. Any confusion? Third statement is wrong. Okay, fine, clear. Moving to the next question. Question number 54. With reference to Anglo-Mysore Wars, consider the following statements. The first Anglo-Mysore War ended with Treaty of Madras, 1769. Clear? The treaty was signed by Hyder Ali and the British. Clear? Triple alliance came to an end in this war only. Both Nizam of Hyderabad and Marathas decided to support British against Hyder Ali. Clear? So this statement is absolutely right. The second Anglo-Mysore War ended with Treaty of Mangalore that established friendly relations between British and Tipu Sultan. This is also right. Clear? For 4 years since second Anglo-Mysore War, British could not defeat Mysore. In this fourth Anglo-Mysore War, this war is important. Clear? The war was started by Hyder Ali in 1780. Clear? But in the course of this war in 1782, Hyder Ali died, and the war was continued further by his son and successor Tipu Sultan. Clear? Tipu Sultan defended Mysore against 3 powers: the British, Marathas, and the Nizam. And after 4 years, they signed an equality treaty, which is known as Treaty of Mangalore. Clear? So Treaty of Mangalore was signed in 1784 by Tipu Sultan and a British military officer. This British military officer was Lord Macartney. Clear? He concluded this treaty, even though Governor General was Warren Hastings. Clear? So Lord Macartney concluded Treaty of Mangalore, very close to Bengaluru. Clear? This is absolutely right. The second one. The third Anglo-Mysore War was fought during the tenure of Governor Generalship of John Shore. As I told you, if you know the tenure of Governor Generals, you will correct many questions there. Clear? It was not John Shore. The third Anglo-Mysore War was fought during Cornwallis. Clear? Cornwallis came to India. He started the war because in 1789, French Revolution broke out. Tipu Sultan was completely isolated because France was supporting Mysore. Realizing this isolation, Cornwallis declared war against Tipu Sultan. Tipu Sultan was defeated in this war. Humiliating treaty was imposed known as Treaty of Srirangapatnam, the capital of Mysore. And huge indemnity was imposed on Tipu Sultan. Since he could not pay the indemnity amount, his sons were taken as hostage by Lord Cornwallis. And Lord Cornwallis took away many areas including Dindigul, which is presently located in Tamil Nadu, where Hyder Ali established modern arsenal for manufacture of arms and weapons. Clear? Dindigul presently located in Tamil Nadu. Clear? So second, third war ended with Treaty of Srangapatnam, and fourth Anglo-Mysore War, Tipu Sultan died while fighting at Srangapatnam. Mysore was brought under British control, not directly but indirectly by applying subsidiary alliance treaty by Lord Wellesley. Clear? Subsidiary alliance, doctrine of lapse, a very important concept in modern India. Clear? So this was the question related to Anglo-Mysore Wars. Point again. There was no question on national movement. Okay. These days you are not getting, but again I'll let you know. Clear? In the course of modern Indian history, national movement prepared the first phase of national movement till Swadeshi and boycott movement. We are getting questions from this phase. The phase from 30 to 32, 2 years, which is very important because of multiple developments like Round Table Conference, then Pune Pact, then execution of Sardar Bhagat Singh. Clear? Then prepared the phase 40 to 47. This very phase when transfer of power took place. Last time we had question on Dr. Sachidanand Sinha. Clear? 40 to 47 is another very important phase. Three phases are important. Clear? Moderate phase till Swadeshi and boycott movement. 30 to 32, these 2 years are important. Then 40 to 47, you will get one question either on Cripps mission, then August offer, then we have the cabinet mission plan, and so on. Clear? 40 to 47. This phase must be prepared. Clear? These are some areas to be prepared in history. Always go for art and culture, ancient India. These days questions are more on ancient India and art and culture. Is it fine? See, we had a very limited time. So areas are important. Just go through these areas. Enough, still you have enough time. Get to go through these areas, prepare these areas properly. You will get questions, and always focus on traditional areas. Clear? Because the probability of correcting questions on current affairs is still very dicey. Clear? So prepare the traditional areas, traditional module that will sail you through in prelims. Clear? Or 60 questions will sail you through. Clear? That's fine. Anything to be asked? Any question that needs to be asked? Okay, so we'll have another module. Clear? So we'll just wind up here. All the best to
So I'll be discussing economics questions. सबसे पहला सवाल है आपके पास क्वेश्चंस होंगे ना सभी के पास एनीवेज यू कैन आल्सो सी हियर यहाँ पे दिया हुआ है द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया हैज फुल्ली एग्जेम्प्टेड बेसिक कस्टम्स ड्यूटी ऑन सेवरल क्रिटिकल मिनरल्स to promote domestic manufacturing and clean energy. Which of the following materials are included in this exemption? So, as you know, we are trying to increase the manufacturing base in India. We are trying to increase the semiconductor production. We are trying to increase mobile phone production. So, in that, to do that, we need a lot of minerals. So, in the last year's budget, they had removed the customs duty from many of the minerals. And this year too, they have removed the duties, basic custom duties from many of the minerals. There are 12 minerals, that is beryllium, bismuth, cobalt, cadmium, molybdenum, rhenium, tantalum, tin, tungsten, zirconium, and copper. 25 minerals were exempted from basic customs duty last year. Along with this year, waste and scrap of lithium and iron batteries, lead and zinc too has also been included or has been excluded from basic custom duties. Is that clear? Now, if we come to the second question, the question has been repeated many times in the UPSC. Every other year they ask about the market money instrument and the capital money instrument. So let's look at the options one by one. Call money involves transactions of funds on an overnight basis, while notice money involves transactions for period ranging from 2 to 14 days, both being unsecured forms of lending. The second statement is certificate of deposits are secure long-term financial instrument that banks use to raise substantial funds. And the third statement is that commercial papers are secured short-term instruments issued by high credit rating companies. Money market permits transactions involving debt instruments with maturities not exceeding 1 year. Thus, it involves less credit risk compared to capital market risk. So, first of all, we know there are two kinds of financial markets. One is capital market, and second one is money market. Anything which is there for the short term is included in the money market. So, whether it is treasury bills, cash management bills, or state development loans, all are included in the money market. The central government issues treasury bills of 91 days, 182 days, and 364 days. Anything below 91 days, any instrument which is of below 91 days is called cash management bills. Okay? Only the union government can issue treasury bills. The state governments cannot, and this question has been already asked. Along with this, we have commercial papers, call money, certificate of deposits, and commercial bills. So, when we talk about the money market, the call money thing is an overnight lending facility or overnight lending instrument. Notice money goes beyond 1 day. That includes 2 to 14 days. 15 दिन के लिए, for 15 days, 14 days, notice we use notice money, and for overnight lending we use call money. So, is the first statement correct? बोलो भाई, हाँ? क्यों? Why it is not correct? हाँ? क्यों नहीं correct है? हाँ तो वही तो है. The call money involves transactions of funds on overnight basis. वही तो है. This is what statement is saying. Let's come to the second statement. Certificate of हाँ. Speak loudly. No, they are not. They are not secured. They are not secured. ठीक है. If we come to the second option, it is saying that certificate deposits are long-term financial instrument. And are they? No. So the second statement would be wrong. We have seen it here. All these instruments are of money market. They are all for short-term lending or short-term instrument. Now coming to the third, commercial papers are secured short-term instrument issued by high credit rating companies. Who issues commercial papers first of all? बताओ. They are promissory notes issued by the companies and corporations and financial institutions. They can be discounted by banks. They can be issued to the banks, and bank can discount that, or high net worth individuals can discount that. However, they are not secured. And the third statement is wrong. And the fourth statement, which is the money market permits transactions involving debts not exceeding 1 year, we have already seen that is correct. Okay? Now, moving on to the next question. Only two. The statement 1, call money 1 is correct. Certificate of deposits is wrong. Third is commercial paper, that is incorrect. And fourth is of course correct. Only two. Next is indexation, and we have seen index inflation bonds coming in the previous years. Indexation is the process of adjusting the purchase price of an investment for inflation used in the calculation of the capital gains tax. So first of all, there are two types of capital gains tax, that is LTCG and short term, long term capital gain tax and short term capital gains tax. Second, what is indexation? when you borrow money or you lend money, there is an impact of inflation on that, which either benefits the debtor or the creditor. How does that impact? Let's say you are a lender and you lend somebody $100, and the person to whom did you lend, the person promised that the person you 110 rupees after, let's say, 1 year. If the inflation increase, it means whatever I was promised, the gain which was promised to me will not come, because inflation will eat into my profits. That is why there are some devices which takes care of the inflation. So if the inflation increases, then I am promised that whatever returns will be there will be according or will be after adjusting to the inflation prevailing at that point of time. Okay? That is your indexation according to inflation. Okay? Now look at the options. सबसे पहला है, the indexation is the process of adjusting the purchase price of an investment for inflation used in the calculation of the capital gain tax. That is correct. There is no issue in that. Second is capital gains tax on real estate is applicable only after 2 years of holding the property. Is that correct or incorrect? हाँ क्यों? क्यों? No. There are there were two things. One, previously there were two different rates as to how the capital gains would be calculated. Whether when you adjust it according to inflation, the rate was different, and this year the different regime came of counting of the capital gains tax, and now the capital gains tax before the capital gains tax either can be given at 12% static rate or at 20% after calculating the inflation. So the second statement is correct. It is not incorrect. It is calculated after 2 years. There are different types of asset for which you have different period of calculating as to when the long term will be calculated, right? So let's say for gold, it is 3 years. It is different for different assets. ठीक है जी? Now let's see the third statement. For equities, indexation benefit is applied regardless of the holding period to compute capital gains tax. That's not correct. There are different types of assets have different validity, right? So third statement is not correct. It is not applied regardless of the period. There is a for equity there is a period. 24 months for the unlisted equity shares, immovable assets like houses, etc. 36 months for movable assets like gold. ठीक है? And for equity shares, LTCC which exceeds 1.25 lakh is taxed at 12.5% without the benefits of taxation. बताया ना, पहले 20% था with the benefit of taxes, with the benefit of indexation. Now they have removed that, और इस पे बहुत हो हल्ला भी हुआ था. There were a lot of memes which were shared, है ना, कि indexation हटा दिया है. So statement 3 is incorrect. ठीक है? Moving on. This question has been asked in mains too, by the way. Mains में भी आया है कि capital expenditure, revenue expenditure में अंतर बताओ. Let's take a look at this question. Capital revenue consists of the acquisition of assets like land, building, machinery, equipment, investment in shares. Fiscal deficit is the difference between the revenue receipt plus non-debt capital receipts and the total expenditure. And revenue expenditure results in the creation of assets for the government of India. So we know there is two different accounts. One is capital account, revenue account. In capital account we have capital expenditure and capital receipt, and in revenue account we have revenue expenditure and revenue receipt. Any expenditure which creates assets or decreases liability is considered capital expenditure. Any receipt which either increases your liability or decreases your assets is considered capital receipt. Any expenditure which neither creates assets or which neither have no impact on the liability comes under the revenue part. If the government is getting the money, let's say in tax form, non-tax form, which cannot be claimed from the government, that is your revenue receipt. all the other expenditures in day to day government running or the expenditure which is not creating any assets will be revenue expenditure. Is that clear? समझ में आया? So if I ask you, the government sells a public sector unit company, what kind of receipt that would be? Why? कौन सी होगी? हाँ बताओ ना. Yes, when you're selling, हाँ बोलो, you're saying something. जब आप एक कंपनी बेच दे रहे हो, when you're selling a company, it means your asset is decreasing, so that will be counted as a receipt. However, there will be capital receipt. If I get my loan repayment back, what kind of receipt that would be? Capital receipt, because the loans which I had given was my asset, है ना, वो मेरे को मिलना था. Now I have gotten that loan back. Now that becomes my capital receipt. If let's say I am investing in a bridge, I got a bridge created. What kind of expenditure would that be? Capital expenditure, right? So if we calculate capital expenditure and capital receipt, that would be in the capital account. So the first statement is correct. Second, fiscal deficit is the difference between the revenue receipt plus known debt capital receipt minus the total expenditure. That is of course correct. Fiscal deficit, when we calculate fiscal deficit, we do not account for the debt creating receipt. Otherwise, what would government do? If we calculate the debt also while calculating the fiscal deficit, they'll take all the loans and they'll show the fiscal deficit as 0, right? And the second statement is right. Third, revenue expenditure results in the creation of assets. That is of course incorrect. That should be capital expenditure. Capital expenditure results in the creation of the assets for the government, and the government has set up different targets कि हम capex बढ़ा रहे हैं. You must have heard that, right? That will be increasing the capital expenditure. So the third statement is incorrect. ठीक है, अभी याद रहेगा. Simple सा formula: increasing assets or decreasing liability, or increasing liability or decreasing assets. Based on that, we can classify it under the capital account, capital expenditure or capital revenue and receipt. Sorry, if it has no impact on assets, or for example interest payment on loan, where would you put that? रेवेन्यू वाले हाथ खड़ा करें और कैपिटल वाले. Why capital, man? Revenue. Okay, फिर ठीक है. So interest payment which I am getting on my loan is having no impact on my assets or liability. That's one way payment which I am getting, so that will be in my revenue receipt. Similarly, tax revenue, non-tax revenue, all these things come in my revenue receipt. ठीक है. The salary and the pensions which I am paying to my employees as a government, that will be my revenue expenditure. ठीक है. Is that clear? The third statement is incorrect and the first and two are correct. Moving on. Consider the following statement regarding the priority sector lending. So priority sector lending started in 1960s, got solidified in 1970s, and there are different criterias. There are different sectors to which the banks are supposed to lend, right? So all the urban cooperative bank, scheduled bank, your foreign banks with less than 20 branches and foreign banks with 20 plus branches all have to give their give certain amount of credit to priority sectors which government thinks need credit to grow, to develop. So there are different criteria for that, and this is the criteria. So domestic commercial banks and foreign banks with 20 branches and above need to give adjusted net bank credits 40%, right? Or credit equivalent of budget expenditure जो उनका है उसका 40%, whichever is higher. Similarly, the foreign banks with less than 20 branches need to give 40% of ANBC, adjusted net bank credit, or credit equivalent, whichever is higher. And regional rural banks are supposed to give 75% of ANBC, and small finance banks too are supposed to give 75% of the ANBC. What are different areas to which they can give? Agriculture, MSME, export credit, education, housing, social infra, renewable energy, and others. And if they are not able to meet the targets, then they have to put that amount into where? Kaha? Or they need to contribute that much amount to the RIDF, Rural Infra Development Fund, created by, किसने बनाया है? तो तुम्हारे 2 महीने में प्रीलिम्स है भाई. किसने बनाया है RIDF? नाबार्ड, है ना? नाबार्ड का है, उसमें कंट्रीब्यूट करना पड़ता है. अभी ऑप्शंस देखते हैं. All scheduled banks are required to allocate half of their ANBC to the priority sector. That is incorrect. Loans provided to large scale farmers are eligible for inclusion under the PSL category. There is a separate category for small and marginal farmers. However, this is also included. Even the corporate farmers and FPOs and cooperatives are also allowed. And the third is small finance bank and local area banks are exempted from the PSL regulations. That is incorrect. है ना? अभी हमने देखा स्मॉल बैंक्स को 75 करना पड़ता है. इवन जो अर्बन कोऑपरेटिव्स है, दे हैव टू गिव प्राइवेट सेक्टर लोन्स. ठीक है. प्राइमरी एग्रीकल्चरल क्रेडिट सोसाइटी एंड जो सैलरी बैंक होते हैं, दे डोंट हैव टू गिव टू द प्राइवेट सेक्टर लैंड, बिकॉज प्राइमरी एग्रीकल्चर सोसाइटीज आर कंसिडर्ड थ्रिफ्ट सोसाइटीज. दे आर इन ए सेंस आर नॉट कंसिडर्ड बैंक. ठीक है. एंड सैलरी जो बैंक्स होते हैं, दे आर ऑल्सो कंसिडर्ड ए सॉर्ट ऑफ थ्रिफ्ट सोसाइटीज एंड दे आर ऑल्सो एग्जेम्प्टेड फ्रॉम प्राइवेट सेक्टर लैंडिंग. ठीक है. नाउ कमिंग टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. हाँ, this one 43rd, this one. हाँ, हाँ, वो मिसप्रिंट हो गया है. Capital expenditure consists of the acquisition of assets like land, machinery, equipment. अरे क्या हुआ? Capital revenue consists of the acquisition of assets like land, building, machinery, equipment. हाँ, अगर आप if you are acquiring land, you are spending money, that will come in the expenditure. That is misprint. ये misprint हो गया. ठीक है. हाँ, so formula clear है. If you are getting assets or your liability is decreasing, that is your capital. बोलो भाई, है ना? Expenditure. And मिसप्रिंट का तो क्या ही बोल यार. हाँ, वो you can mark it anyway. You understand the concept, right? हाँ, you understand the concept. That is fine. चलो, formula is clear. Simple सी बात है. Anything which is impacting your liabilities in a positive way, in the sense that liabilities are decreasing and assets are increasing, capital expenditure. And anything which is decreasing your assets or increasing your liabilities is your capital receipt. Now, the next question was the relationship between the bond price and bond yield is inversely proportional. That is, of course, true. When I expect that the bond price, or when the bond price is going up, that means the returns which I was supposed to get is decreasing. That is your bond yield. So it is inversely proportional. The second statement is the relationship between the bond yield and the interest rate is not strictly proportional, as other factors such as credit risk and market demand influence yield. So first of all, we need to understand the relationship between the interest rate and bond yield. whenever I expect that I'll get better return in bond, I throng to or I run to buy bonds, the bond price goes up. And whenever I expect that in the future the interest rate will go up, then I hold on to money and I, you can say, invest in different instrument or keep the money in the bank account. So the relationship between interest rate and bond is inversely proportional. However, there is one condition, one situation, jahan pe the demand for money becomes infinitely elastic. What is that situation? Liquidity trap, where the interest rates are so low that I, as an investor, think that they would not fall below that, or they cannot fall below that. Anyways, they are going to increase. And if I hold on to money, that is the opportunity cost there, in which I'll get better returns. So even if government push a lot of money into the market, then the investors hold on to money rather than investing in the bond market. So both the statements are correct individually. However, if we add a because after the first statement, the second statement does not hold. So my way of doing this is, the relationship between bond price and bond yield is inversely proportional, because the relationship between bond yield and interest rate is not strictly proportional. This is correct. However, this is not explaining the first statement. So both 1 and 2 are correct. However, 2 is not the explanation of 1. That will be the correct answer. Okay. Now, you understand all these terms, face value, coupon rates, etc., or do I need to explain that? सभी को क्लियर है ना? मतलब 2 महीने प्रीलिम्स तो इतना तो एक्सपेक्ट किया ही जा सकता है कि इतना तो पढ़ ही लिया होगा, है? हाँ, कुछ बोल रहे थे? सामने आएगा तो you will be able to do it. So face value is the amount of money the bond holder has to give to the issuer to the authority. 100 रुपए का बॉन्ड है, 50 रुपए का है. The coupon rate is basically the interest rate which you the returns you get from the bond. There are some bonds which are issued at 0 coupon rate, meaning that they bear no coupon rate. However, they are issued at a discounted price. So let's say there is a 100 rupees bond. If it has a 0 coupon rate, then it will be issued at, let's say, 95 rupees. So when the bond will mature, I'll get 5 rupees. That is the yield. That is the profit which I'm getting from bond. Maturity date is, of course, the time period after which the bond will mature, and yield is the rate of return. जो भी, or let's say if I'm investing 100 rupees, I'm getting 110 rupees back. So 10 rupees, whatever percentage is that, that is my profit. ठीक है? ठीक है. हाँ. Why it is there? I'm not able to hear you. हाँ. Add because add करो और फिर पढ़ो. Read it. हाँ, मैं बता रहा हूँ. The first statement is the relationship between bond price and bond yield is inversely proportional. Here the explanation should have been, as the bond price go up, the yield come down, and whenever bond price go down, the yield goes up. That should have been the explanation. However, it is simply saying that yields and interest rate are not strictly proportional. It is not explaining the first statement. It is a standalone statement. If this would have said that bond yield comes down as the bond price goes up, then this would have been a correct explanation. However, it is simply saying कि हाँ कई बार नहीं होता strictly, ठीक है. But is that explaining why the relationship is inversely proportional? No, it is not explaining the first statement. So the relationship between bond price and bond yield is inversely proportional. Now put a because the relationship is not strictly proportional. It is not explaining the first statement. It is even not making any sense. That is why it is not the correct explanation. So whenever these kind of questions come, put a because, BECUSC wala because, and you'll understand immediately whether it is explaining or making any sense or not. Now, that is the easy way or the trick way to do it. Okay. Abhi let's come to the consider the following. non-resident external rupee account, foreign institutional investors investment in government treasury bills, external assistance from international institutions, and investment made by foreign institutional investor in corporate debt security. Which, how many of the above are part of India's rupee denominated debt? So first of all, what is rupee denominated debt? Any debt where the risk is borne by the person who is debtor will be called your rupee denominated debt. Why? Let's say I am a debtor who issued a security of 100 rupees. The debt is marked in rupees. Whatever be the future price of rupee, I'll be returned accordingly what I've lent to somebody. Now, if the bond would have been issued in some other currency, let's say dollar, India's more than 50% debt is denominated in dollar, 54-55 ke aspas is denominated in dollar. Then the risk would have been borne by creditor. The creditor would have returned me money on the prevailing rate of dollar. Now I am risk free because no matter what happens to rupee, I'll get my money back. Whatever I have lent, I'll get that back. However, when you denominate any loan or any credit in rupee, it means the risk is with the person who is lending the money or debtor. Example, masala bonds. Masala bonds are the bonds which are issued in the foreign markets in the कहाँ पे डोमेस्टिक करेंसी है ना या रुपी. ठीक है, तो सिंपल से इतनी समझने की बात है. These are the instrument जो टोटल इंस्ट्रूमेंट है. NRI rupee denominated non-resident Indian deposits, including the non-resident external rupee account and non-resident order. These are different types of account which are included in the rupee denominated debt. Foreign institutional investment in government treasury bills and dated securities. FII investment in corporate debt securities with investments subject to a ceiling of $40 billion annually. So if we look at the options, the third statement, external assistance, is not denominated in rupee. Whenever we get external assistance from, let's say, some government or some financial institution, we get it in dollar. है ना, World Bank ने इतना लोन दिया और वो सब किया. Similarly, investment made by foreign institutional investors in corporate debt has to be in the rupee denominated securities. And the first one, the non-resident external rupee account is not part of rupee denominated debt, but a conversion allows the NRIs to convert it into rupee denominated if they want. Automatically it is not. ठीक है? So there are 4 options, 2 are incorrect and 2 are correct. First one is, बताओ भाई, first one is wrong, second is, third wrong and fourth correct. ठीक है? Moving on. Nidhi companies. What are Nidhi companies? क्या होती हैं? हाँ? Nidhi companies are basically saving companies, and you must have heard in the news कि a lot of companies run away taking investors' money, right? And they are governed not by the RBI but Ministry of Corporate Affairs governs it. ठीक है? They are governed by the Companies Act rather than, let's say, when we talk about bank. So banks are governed by whom? RBI, right? Under the RBI Act or Banking Regulations Act, right? Similarly, when we talk about urban cooperative banks, there is a state registrar for some cooperative banks, and there are some overarching regulations by the RBI, right? Similarly, there are some different kind of investment funds which are regulated by SEBI. ठीक है? Similarly, Nidhi companies are regulated by Ministry of Corporate Affairs under the Companies Act. So third statement is correct. When the third statement is correct, that is given. है ना? It is asking incorrect. We have to take care of this part too. ये whenever you give the exam, please ensure that you read whether the question is asking correct or incorrect. So the first statement is the primary purpose of Nidhi company is to encourage the habit of savings and thrift among the members. True. And a small savings you do, a small amount of money you put in that. They also ensure financial inclusion. They also ensure credit facilities whenever it is required. है ना? जैसे informally the work is done by committee. डाल दो ना committee डालना चलता है ना committee डालना. Formally that is done by Nidhi companies. ठीक है. So they lend to members, they take deposits from the members, and they are exclusive to members. ठीक है. And they are governed by or regulated by Ministry of Corporate Affairs. They say in Bengal, if you remember, some years back, there was a company, chit fund scam था ना कुछ, है ना? They are related to these companies, these Nidhi companies. Is that clear? चलो, तो none of the statement is incorrect. All are correct. Moving on. Yes, Urban Challenge Fund announced in the Union Budget consider the following statement. The Urban Challenge Fund aims to provide full financing for urban redevelopment project with no requirement for private sector participation. Does this look correct? क्यों? बहुत एक्सट्रीम स्टेटमेंट नहीं लग रहा? फुल कोई पब्लिक प्राइवेट पार्टनरशिप नहीं चाहिए और द गवर्नमेंट इज इंक्रीजिंग पार्टनरशिप, प्राइवेट पार्टनरशिप. चलो देखते हैं क्या होगा. Look at the second statement. The fund will support initiatives like cities for growth hubs, creative redevelopment of cities, and water sanitation project. Seems correct. There is no unnecessary or extreme word. It seems that ये तो करेगा ही करेगा. मतलब creative redevelopment, water sanitation ये नहीं करेगा तो क्या करेगा? The third is the fund will finance up to 25% of the cost of bankable projects with a stipulation that at least 50% of the cost is funded from bonds, bank loans, and PPP. So, if we take in total the third statement and the first statement, they both can't be true, because in the first one it is saying that there should be no requirement for private sector participation, and in the third statement it is saying that the PPP model is there. So, first and third anyways can't be true together. However, many of us will see the data in the third statement and will say that is incorrect. However, this is correct. Third statement is correct. The financing mechanism is that the government will give some money. However, the private sector, other instrument of urban local bodies, let's say, or some other instrument will also contribute to that. That is the one of the conditions too, that there needs to be private participation in that. This would, you can say, rejuvenate urban local bodies and their finances, or this can also boost investment in the urban local bodies. Okay? So, all the statement where the data is given are not incorrect. I'll give you one more example. In 2021, they asked about the air quality guidelines, which the WHO has released, and the first statement was a lot of data. इतने PM 2.5 should be this and PM 10 should be this, है ना? And immediately the people who were giving the exam that year saw the data and marked it wrong without even reading the other statement. Agar if they would have read the other statement, they would have understood that the other three statements which were there were giving away the answer. But since we had this preconceived notion towards data, they marked it wrong. So always think before marking any answer. All the data and all the questions related with data are not wrong. सही भी होते हैं कई बार. So the third statement is correct. The first statement is incorrect, and the second statement is true. Correct. है ना? Only two would be the answer. ठीक है? Now, let's talk about, consider the following statement in context of recent developments in India's capital market. The number of IPOs increased significantly in 2024. We'll see. पहले देखते हैं बाकी. India's market capitalization to GDP ratio exceeded 130% by the end of 2024. We'll see. The number of demat accounts decreased in 2024. I believe जितना future options और reels में trading हो रही है, demat तो नहीं घटे होंगे, है ना? That is understood. So the third statement is incorrect, है ना? And IPOs increased. I believe yes, है ना? Many of us are investing in IPOs, ना? कि short term gains लेके will come out. So IPOs has increased, and if we read economic survey, we'll find out that India's market capitalization, that is your publicly traded companies, is way above our GDP. That shows that India's market is oversaturated, and there is a correction which will come somehow. It is correct that India's market is, you can say, overvalued, and it is at 130%. It shows that there is a correction which shall come because it should be balanced with the GDP. ठीक है? Overvaluation हुआ है उसमें because of the lot of investment which are happening, whether it is in the form of IPOs or institutional investment or FDIs. The market is overvalued and it exceeds the 100% criteria, and it is at 130%. If it is undervalued, let's say 70% or 80%, it means that it is undervalued, and when the corrections will come, there will be a boom in the market, right? And right now there is a correction which is going to come very soon. ठीक है? Economic survey is talking about that. ठीक है जी? So incorrect statement is क्या बोला? Why 1 year? It increased 3 only. But IPOs increased. कितने सारे तो हुए हैं पिछले साल हैं? Zomato और Paytm, कितना सारा हो गया है? So first is correct, second is correct, and the third is incorrect. ठीक है जी? चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं. In the context of the productive sector or productive activities, which is considered a real sector income. What is a real sector income, by the way? Why only consumption? मतलब consumption तो ठीक है, but और क्या? As opposed to intangible. Real sector income or financial sector. We differentiate between these two, right? So anything which creates assets, infra, or any capital good, consumption good, all these things are considered real sector income. By the way, this question has also come in the exam already. It's a PYQ, it has come. So what is real sector? Anything which adds to the stock of the capital or goods or anything as compared to financial sector. So interbank borrowing is not a real sector income. It's a financial sector income. It's a financial sector thing. Now, when we talk about real sector, a farmer growing vegetables for self-consumption, yes, no? Who said? You said no? किसने बोला? It is. They're growing something, they're producing something, they're creating something. Okay? A person building furniture using their own resources, at least they're creating something. A factory worker receiving wages for production work, yes, production happened. Business owner receiving rental income from a commercial property, ये बताओ. Why? Nothing is getting created. है ना? यही argument है. Family trading surplus agricultural produce for essential goods with neighbor, ये बताओ. Yes, real goods are being traded. A person earning interest from a fixed deposit, nothing is getting created. It's a financial sector instrument. So answer would be 1, 2, 3 and 5. Is that correct? Is that clear? ठीक. चलो अगला सवाल देखते हैं. What is tonnage tax? Tonnage taxation, let's look at these statements. Tonnage taxation is the way of taxing the shipping companies based on the net tonnage of the entire fleet under operation or used by the company. So instead of taxing the goods or individual cargoes, we tax how much is your capacity, how much is the ship capacity, and based on that we assume कि इतना आपको tax देना पड़ेगा. That is considered your tonnage tax. What is the second? Tonnage tax scheme is available to only sea-going ships. It's a quite factual question. So second statement is incorrect. In the 2020 in this year's budget, the benefits of the tonnage tax scheme has been extended to inland vessels too, to do ease of doing business, to increase ease of doing business. This has been extended to inland shipping too. So the first tonnage taxation is the way of taxing shipping companies based on the net tonnage of the entire fleet under operation or used by the company. That is correct. Okay? Based on your capacity, you are taxed instead of individual cargoes or individual goods. And the second statement is incorrect. In this year's budget, this has been extended to inland inland shipping too. ठीक है? So the first statement is correct and the second is incorrect. चलो, with reference to scheduled commercial bank in India, consider the following statement. Scheduled commercial banks are those banks that are listed in the second schedule of the RBI Act 1934. That is correct. There are some banks which are in the second schedule of the RBI Act, and they are considered scheduled banks. They have more scrutiny, they have different norms altogether, and they have some other criteria which they have to fulfill. Some RRBs can be included in that. Some commercial banks can be included in that. है ना, उसमें कुछ भी हो सकता है. It depends what you add in that schedule by way of an amendment. Amendment से ही होगा ना उसमें include. ठीक है ना? चलो, तो the first statement is, बताओ भाई, right है. Now let's look at the third statement. All regional rural banks and cooperative banks are classified as scheduled commercial bank. Of course not. सारे कैसे कर सकते? There are so many regional rural banks or cooperative banks which are not scheduled commercial banks. है ना? Let's say we have 100 banks in India. All of them are not in their in the second schedule of the RBI Act. So third statement gives away the answer. Third statement is incorrect. The NPA ratio of the scheduled commercial banks has declined consistently from the peak in financial year 18 to 2.6% in 2024. That is a correct statement. That's a bit factual statement which is given in the economic survey. तो याद ही कर लो इसको. तो एक वो होता है ना, it has been consistently increasing और consistently decreasing. उसमें तुम मान लेते हो कि ये तो पक्का पक्का गलत है. That is not the case. There are sometimes statement which can be correct or which can be incorrect based on the situation, based on the demand of the question. So the second statement is correct, the first one is correct, and the third one is incorrect. है ना? ये बड़ा मुसीबत वाला काम हो गया ना जब से when they started giving only 1, only 2 and only 3. I think there is no difference. पहले भी there were so many questions which did not, we could not find the answer even by elimination. They have done nothing new. The problem is where they are giving a a table. There are 3 columns in a table questions. They are a bit difficult. Or the statement 1 questions are difficult. Why? Because now you have to understand the grammar 2 of the exam. है ना? पहले क्या था, पढ़ा, information सही है गलत है, ठीक है, कर दिए, है ना? Now both the statement are correct. It takes a lot of time first in reading those type of questions. So it increases the time, number of times you can read the question paper or you can do the question paper. है ना? पहले फर्स्ट रीडिंग, सेकंड रीडिंग, थर्ड रीडिंग, फोर्थ रीडिंग तक चलता रहता था पेपर. अभी दूसरी रीडिंग के बाद समझ ही नहीं आता कि टाइम कहाँ चला गया. So I believe these questions are still okay, but those questions where 3 columns are given or the statement questions are given, but they have increased our you can say hardships. Anyways, सबके लिए है, क्या ही कर सकते हैं. चलो, एंजल फंड्स, है ना? क्या होते हैं एंजल फंड्स? क्या होते हैं बताओ? Only startups. दूसरे क्या होते हैं एंजल्स के अलावा? और भी देयर आर अदर काइंड ऑफ फंड. व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन एंजल एंड वेंचर कैपिटलिस्ट फंड? और वेंचर लेटर शुरुआती दौर में. यस, एंजल फंड्स आर द फंड्स व्हिच आर मैनेज्ड बाय हाई नेट वर्थ इंडिविजुअल्स. वेंचर कैपिटलिस्ट आर फर्म्स which put money into startups or other things, है ना? जैसे अमन बंसल giving his personal money is an angel investor, Shark Tank वाला, ठीक है? But SoftBank is a venture capitalist firm when they invest in somebody's business. That is the difference, ठीक है? Jack Ma alone, like when as an individual investing in somebody's business, is an angel investor. But when he creates a company and there is a board of directors and everything, then it becomes a venture capitalist fund. ठीक है? So पहले तो SEBI governs these, and there are 3 categories of funds which can be categorized: category 1, 2 and 3. So angel funds are the category 1 funds. ठीक है? उसको देख लेते हैं पहले. Alternative investment fund ki there are three categories, category 1, 2 and 3, and SEBI governs it. In the first category, the category 1, there are venture capitalist funds including angel funds as well as SME funds, small medium enterprises funds, social venture funds, infrastructure funds. Category 2 funds, category 3 funds are different classification. Anything which is not in category 1 or 3 is classified under category 2. Okay? And in category 2, we put the companies which employ complex strategies to trade or complex mechanism, algorithms, etc. to trade. We put all those listed or unlisted derivatives in the category 3. So category 1 की ये listing, ये category, और category 3 की, this is the definition that which employs diverse or complex trading strategies is considered category 3 funds. And anything, any investment fund, any alternative investment fund which is not there in category 1 or category 3 is in category 2. ठीक है, चलो अब सवाल देखें. Angel funds are a category of alternative investment fund focus exclusively on real estate projects. गलत है. Why exclusively real estate? They can if they want to. However, there are different areas in which they invest. Coming to the second statement, they primarily gather money from individual investor to invest in early stage startups. Yes, we just talked about it that they are from high net worth individuals. They primarily gather angel funds are regulated by SEBI. Yes, category 1, 2 and 3 which is given is also given by SEBI. Third statement, are regulated by SEBI. गलत कर दिया? No, it is correct. Yes. क्यों? Why not? No. Once you're confusing between what I have in my bank account as an individual versus what I am putting as an investment fund. Yes. You have to define yourself that I'm an angel investor. There are procedures for that. You cannot say. So, for example, if I have 1 crore, अगर मेरे अकाउंट में 1 करोड़ रुपया हो तो I'll have to first get myself registered as an angel investor कि मैं आज से हूँ, मैं स्टार्टअप में पैसा लगाऊंगा और वो चंद्रू को स्प्रे वाली मशीन बनाने के लिए पैसे दूंगा. क्या नाम था उसका? हाँ, जुगाड़ू कमलेश. So there is a difference between what I have in my bank account versus what I use as an investment fund. दोनों में अंतर है. So you went into hair splitting mode that कि मेरा पैसा तो RBI रेगुलेट कर रहा है, फिर SEBI का क्या काम? It doesn't work like that. It is regulated by SEBI. चलो, मनी मल्टीप्लायर क्या होता है? मनी मल्टीप्लायर 1 का 100 बनाना है ना. Let's say if I'm a bank and there is a money supply in the economy which includes different categories of money. If you have read the NCERT, you must know M1 equals CU plus TD, currency plus demand deposits, है ना, फिर postal saving deposits and other things comes into the picture. So if there is a 100 rupees money supply or hard money supply by the RBI in the market, it's not only 100 rupees. There is a multiplier attached to that because every single time it changes banks, it increases or it adds to the money supply in the whole market. जैसे if there is no reservation cash reserve requirements, the multiplication will be many times fold. However, RBI is there, multiple regulations are there. So there are two devices, cash reserve ratio and statutory liquidity ratio. So all the deposits which I get, I cannot lend all of that, or I cannot put everything in the market. There are some things which I have to reserve according to the guidelines of the RBI. So let's say 100 rupees money supply is there, 20% is the reserve ratio. So I can lend 80 rupees. right? That 80 rupees goes into the market. That person uses some of that money and put, let's say, some into the account or pays wages to his employers or workers, and they put it in the bank account. Let's consider he put all the 80 rupees in the bank account. So the next bank will have to keep again 20%. 8 to the 16 rupees he'll keep, the bank will keep with itself, and the rest of the amount, that would be कितना होगा 60 64 rupees they can lend again that 64 rupees goes into another bank, then again 20% they have to keep as reserve, and this process will continue. Till when this will continue? Till the time money multiplier does not become inversely proportional to 1 upon CRR. जैसे if the CRR is 20%, if the CRR is 20%, then this is the formula na? Money multiplier is equals 1 upon CRR, है ना? So that will come to be 5. So money if the CRR is 20%, then money multiplier is 5 times. Matlab, if I invest 100 rupees or the money supply is 100 rupees in the economy, then 500 rupees will be created from that base money or hard money. ठीक है, क्लियर है ना? एक 100 का नो करना, 9 का 100 करना इज काम ऑफ वर्क ऑफ मनी मल्टीप्लायर. ठीक है, समझ में आया कैसे काम करता है या नहीं आया? आ गया? ठीक, चलो. तो money multiplier is dependent on many factors, है ना? If the RBI wants to increase money supply in the economy, they can reduce the reserve ratio, है ना? CRR, SLR, they'll reduce. If they want to decrease the money supply from the economy, they'll increase the CRR and the SLR requirement. Now, it describes how an initial deposit can result in a significant expansion of the total money supply due to the lending activities of the commercial bank. Is that correct or incorrect? Correct. ठीक, चलो देखते हैं. The central bank can influence the money multiplier by adjusting the reserve ratio with a higher reserve ratio, leading to. Is that correct or incorrect? Why? Inversely proportional, and anyways अभी तो देखा कि as soon as the cash reserve ratio goes up, it means the bank will have to put more money in reserve and less will be the multiplier. जो second statement तो देखने से ही गलत लग रहा है. Banks holding excess reserves can reduce the overall impact on the money supply. Yes, the RBI is saying you need to hold only 20%, but the banks are holding 30%. Many reasons can be for that. They are afraid of lending. There is not enough demand in the economy. However, that can impact the money supply in the economy. So the second statement is incorrect, and the first and the third are correct. ठीक है जी, चलो बाकी लास्ट है और भी है. Who publishes business responsibility and sustainability report in India? It's a quite straightforward question. मतलब इसमें क्या ही डिस्कस करना है ना. SEBI does this. चलो, Rural Prosperity and Resilience Program launched in 2025-26 budget. The program aims to address underemployment in agriculture through skilling, investment, and technology, while ensuring that migration is not a necessity. Second statement is the program primarily focus on large-scale commercial farmers to enhance agriculture productivity. दूसरा तो एकदम मतलब है ही नहीं, सही नहीं है. मतलब देख के ही पता लग रहा है कि why would they focus on the large-scale farmers? They are already prosperous, already rich. The first statement is correct. Both the statements are correct. नहीं तो automatically गलत हो गया. Both the statements are not correct. Both statements are correct, but not again. This two is eliminated. Both the statements are not correct. Now we are left with whether one is correct or second is incorrect, or second is incorrect or first is correct. So हमको पता है second is wrong. So automatically we are left with the answer C. The 1 is correct and 2 is incorrect. So it has become easier. यहाँ भी elimination is working. Both the statement are correct. Both the statement are eliminated automatically. And we know the second one is incorrect. So the first one has to be correct. अगर नहीं भी पता है तो भी कर लेंगे. So no matter how hard UPSC tries to eliminate the elimination, there always will be some scope. So बिल्कुल डरना वरना नहीं है. डर के आगे माउंटेन ड्यू है. चलो, India Stack was recently in news. Basically, it's an API of different technologies and different algorithms and different features which are there, and it provides sort of an conceptual framework or the impetus to innovate. So all the technology is coming at one place. That can be your UPI, that can be your wallets, that can be your toll collection, which is happening by FASTag. All these things come in there, and this provides the innovators to innovate, and it provides all the technologies as an open source platform. Okay? So it's a cyber security protocol for protecting government database. No, that's not. It has cyber security protocols, but it is not there specifically for the cyber security protocol. The second is it's a digital payment interface exclusively for financial institutions. No, it has UPI and NPCI's other variables. However, it is not exclusively for financial institutions, and it is not exclusively for digital payments. It is a hardware-based solution for enhancing India's telecommunication network. By looking at it, you can find out that the fourth statement is wrong. Why? First of all, it's not hardware-based. It's a software-based platform. जब हम platform की बात ही कर रहे हैं, it's not something which is there in the tangible form. है ना? You cannot touch it. It's in software form. Now, come to the C statement. It's a set of APIs that enables the use of unique digital infra by government, businesses, startups, and developers. That shows that it is a correct statement. It provides the open source platform, or it is an open source platform which can be used by different entities, governments, regulators, companies, startups to innovate and create things. So answer C is the correct answer, and this is what it is saying. Cyber protocol is there, digital payment service is there. However, it is not something which defines it. So the answer would be C. And with this, we conclude the economy section. The next section will be taken by, I think, Bhagwan sir for polity and governance. So, आप सभी दे रहे हैं इस बार क्या prelims? चलो, wish you all the very best. डरना नहीं है, करके आना. ठीक है. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. So, as you can see, it's already 6. No, 6, more than 6, 6:30. So we'll have polity and general government schemes discussion by Bhagwan sir. After this, we have planned for geography. In case we get late, then in that case we will do the second part of this session. Okay, because more than 7:30 or 7:15 we cannot stretch, right? And for you also, you will not be able to absorb or retain this. So we, in that case, we will do it in the second part. Fine, either we'll do it tomorrow we'll schedule it. You can come again. Because geography and environment, these are again very conceptual, and Acacia will do it in very much detail. So you can come tomorrow again if you're not coming from very far. It will be totally worth it. And science also, Neeraj sir has already recorded that we will upload. Fine. So let's try. But in case we don't finish it today, don't worry. Take time. We'll do it tomorrow in the second session. Okay.
So hello everyone, कैसे हैं आप सब? How was the paper? Tough, on the tougher note. So have you tried elimination strategies as well? Yes. So have you revised your current affair from any one source? And what is the status of previous year questions? Have you done that? Are you doing? कितनी बार किया है? एक दो बार किया है PYQs वगैरह? उससे ज़्यादा किया है. So two things that is very important. First, that is PYQ mastery. To clear prelims, one of the most important aspect is that is PYQ पे mastery. With respect to each and every options, you should have mastery in that. I keep on repeating the same things. Why? Because this is one of the most neglected part. one of the most neglected part. So you should be doing all this mastery in all these options that has come in the UPSC examinations. For example, one year they have asked Mathria in 1997, I guess. They have asked Mathria. Yes, they repeated the same. They have kept this as one of the options in 1997, and they have repeated the same question in 2021, I guess. That is future Buddha, and asked that Mathria aspect. Similarly, one question was there in 2000s. That is Jean Baptiste Tavernier, Diamond Traveler. Yes, and the similar question we have seen 2020 or 2021 में फिर से repeat हुआ. Yes, so what I'm saying, and with respect to geography part or polity section, if you have seen my videos on polity earlier as well, so you must have found that all these questions are coming from that UPSC is framing questions from their options only, है ना? तो ये सारे जो टेस्ट सीरीज वगैरह में है, do not get bogged down by fact that paper is really tough. It is just to test your temperament. Test your temperament. You are going there, 9:30 से 11:30 बैठे हैं, पेपर दे रहे हैं. For example, 2:30 to 4:30 बहुत ही freaking hot होगा, उस टाइम पे पसीना बह रहा होगा, तब भी आपको वहां पर बैठना है. And then also you have to give the examination. Temperament का एग्जाम. Are you getting or not? कि उस टाइम पे वो सारा प्रेशर आप झेल पाए. That is one of the most important aspect with respect to clearing prelims. And do focus upon elimination strategies as well. That also works. Sometimes people say that कि नहीं sir ऐसा नहीं है. But if you have done mastery in PYQs, अगर PYQ पे mastery है, तो more confidence you'll be getting. With respect to science and technology also, after 2008, many options were repeated. With respect to polity section, I can say that, I can bet that approximately 70 to 80% of the questions will be there from the options, PYQ options. वही options को घुमा के, वही concept को घुमा के, they will be asking again. Are you getting or not? So do have this mastery on PYQ things, but I will just keep this session very short. Let us see what is no confidence motion. We know that if this no confidence motion is being passed, then what happens? Government has to resign immediately. This particular thing was in news that no confidence motion against NDA government defeated in the Lok Sabha. If no confidence motion is passed, it means government is no longer enjoying majority, and if government is not enjoying the majority, then it has to resign immediately. This is a very basic concept. Let's see the question. What happens if a no confidence motion is passed against the government in Lok Sabha? That is, the government is required to prove majority within 30 days. ऐसा तो कुछ प्रोविजन नहीं है. The president can ask for reconsideration of the motion. ये भी कोई प्रोविजन नहीं है. And third option is government must resign immediately. That is the correct option. And I think कितने लोग का ये सही हुआ है? Majority of you, है ना? ये क्वेश्चन आपका गलत हुआ सर? क्यों? क्या सोच के डाला? The government is dissolved and new elections are okay. New elections are announced. So what you have thought? Okay, okay. So that is a part in the constitution as well. So we are going by option C. Let's see. Next is racial discrimination. Next particular aspect is racial discrimination in India is explicitly prohibited under which article of the Constitution of India? In various cases, for example, if money bill is not being passed, in various other provisions are there with respect. Yes. So various other provisions are there. For example, if money bill is not being passed, then in that case also government has to resign. Various other provisions are there. Yes. Then with respect to this question number 27. Question number 27. That is racial discrimination in India explicitly prohibited under which article of the Constitution of India? Then we have the option Article 23. Article 23 is about, yes, prohibition of traffic in Article 23. Yes, prohibition of traffic in human being. That is trafficking, human trafficking. Then here there is no mention of racial discrimination explicitly. Yes. Then second is Article 14. Article 14 is telling regarding equality before law and equal protection of laws. Equality before law, that means that is in the eyes of law everybody is equal, whether it is coming from the richer class or the poorer class, or from coming from the forward class or backward class, and equal protection of law. Here also there is no explicit mention of with respect to racial discrimination. Article 15 and Article 16 do mention regarding the racial discrimination, and there is an explicit mention. It is also given in the solutions as well, so you can go by that. Correct answer would be C. Article 17 is regarding abolition of untouchability. Abolition of untouchability. Here also they have not mentioned regarding the racial discrimination. Yes. So it is writing, that is racial discrimination is any discrimination against any individual on the basis of their skin color or racial or ethnic origin. Article 16 of the Indian Constitution deals with equality of opportunity in matters of public employment. If you will see, that is second part, that is no citizen shall on the ground only of religion, race, caste, sex or descent, place of birth, residence or any of them be ineligible or discriminated against the respect of any employment or office under the state. Are you getting? That is correct answer is what? Correct answer is, कितने लोग का सही हुआ था? बहुत बढ़िया. बाकी लोग का क्यों गलत हुआ था? In which options you got confused? 16 ही है. Yes. 14 में भी थोड़ा सा होगा, लेकिन equality before law and equal protection of law, but there is no direct mention as such. Yes. Then let's come to next question. Question number 29. Question number 29. That is, Speaker of Legislative Assembly shall vacate his or her office if he or she ceases to be the member of the assembly. ये तो simple line है, इसमें कोई confusion ही नहीं होना चाहिए. Yes, Speaker of Legislative Assembly shall vacate his or her office if he or she ceases to be member of the assembly. But second option, when you see second option, you will find that whenever the Legislative Assembly is dissolved, the Speaker shall vacate his or her office immediately. Sir, here also you have seen immediately and you have cancelled the question. Yes, that is whenever Legislative Assembly, no, do not go by that, है ना. कुछ लोग अभी elimination strategy में ऐसा कर रहे हैं कि words के through जा रहे हैं. For example, earlier it used to happen various words like there is exponential increase, or for example, so far, till now, recently. All these words, whenever you guys were seeing, you were just eliminating. Do not go by that. Try to understand the meaning of it. Even with respect to polity questions, if you will see, जो polity वाले जो बुजुर्ग इंसान हैं, जो पेपर बनाएंगे आपका, there are various aspects where you'll be finding that they have used various of these words. For example, extreme words they will be using, but they will be asking conceptual question, and they must have repeated those options from the PYQ. Are you getting or not? है ना. तो कोशिश करना है कि थोड़ा essence भी समझने की कोशिश करेंगे, है कि नहीं. And here though when the Legislative Assembly is dissolved, द स्पीकर शैल वेकेट हिज और हर ऑफिस इमीडिएटली लिखा हुआ है। दैट इज राजस्थान, अभी रिसेंटली क्या हुआ था, राजस्थान लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली में इट वाज डिसॉल्व्ड ऑन दिसंबर 2023 following the state elections. Despite dissolution, Speaker CP Joshi remained in office until the formation of new assembly. Until the formation of new assembly, which clearly indicate that this particular provision that is given when the legislative assembly is dissolved, the speaker does not vacate immediately. He waits, that is for the next assembly to form. For example, according to under the article 179 subclause C of the Constitution of Indian Constitution, that is Speaker of Legislative Assembly does not vacate his or her office immediately upon the dissolution of the assembly. Instead, the speaker continues to hold office until the first meeting of the assembly after the dissolution. This means that speaker remains in office during the interim period between the dissolution of the assembly and constitution of new assembly. ये क्वेश्चन कितने लोगों ने किया था? ऑनेस्टली बताएंगे अभी सभी लोग, सबका सही हुआ था? वेरी गुड। ये पीवाईक्यू ही है, पीवाईक्यू हैज बीन रिपीटेड मोस्टली, मोस्ट ऑफ दीज क्वेश्चंस आर फ्रॉम पीवाईक्यू। अभी यहां पर जो पेपर सेट हुआ था इट इज कमिंग फ्रॉम द पीवाईक्यू थीम्स ओनली। नेक्स्ट पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन इज रिगार्डिंग द कंटिंजेंसी फंड। We know that under Article 267, contingency fund is being created. Now, under Article 267, power has been given to the Parliament. Parliament को power मिला है for the formation of contingency fund, and it act as a, for example, reservoir for the emergency expenditure. For example, recently for the Manipur as well, Manipur के लिए भी, that is Finance Minister has told that is they will be establishing contingency fund. कंटिंजेंसी फंड को स्टैब्लिश करेंगे। दैट इज इट एक्ट एज अ रिजर्व फॉर द इमरजेंसी एक्सपेंडिचर टू मीट अनफोर्सीन दैट इज एक्सपेंडिचर, जो भी होने वाला है इमरजेंसी सिचुएशन के लिए जो भी होगा, तो पार्लियामेंट के पास पावर मिलेगी। पार्लियामेंट को पावर मिली है अंडर आर्टिकल 267 एंड इट क्रिएट्स कंटिंजेंसी फंड। इट इज प्लेस्ड अंडर प्रेसिडेंट बट मैनेज्ड बाय फाइनेंस सेक्रेटरी। मैनेज बाय फाइनेंस सेक्रेटरी। लेट्स सी द क्वेश्चन देखने की कोशिश करते हैं, क्वेश्चन बनता है कि नहीं बनता अपन से। कि विद रेफरेंस टू कंटिंजेंसी फंड कंसीडर द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट, पार्लियामेंट मे बाय लॉ एस्टैब्लिश कंटिंजेंसी फंड, दैट इज बीइंग गिवन, दैट इज आर्टिकल 267। ये लिखते रहो उसमें में, और अभी दूसरा नोट्स नहीं बनाओगे, है ना, कि डू नॉट ट्राई टू क्रिएट सेपरेट नोट फॉर दैट, उसी में लिखो या फिर जो भी आप जहां पर भी नोट्स बनाते हैं। एंड डू रिमेंबर दिस दैट व्हाटएवर टेस्ट यू आर सॉल्विंग, ट्राई टू मेक शॉर्ट नोट्स ऑफ दैट, है ना। अलग से वो पेपर ढूंढने के लिए निकलोगे तो शायद खो जाओगे, बिकॉज लॉट मेनी पेपर्स यू आर सॉल्विंग। तो क्या करो कि अगर ये शीट है, आई डोंट नो विच शीट इज दिस, लेकिन इस तरीके से कर सकते हैं आप, और ऐसा भी कर सकते हैं कि थोड़ा सा आप हल्का सा आपने ये कर दिया ताकि बाद में स्टेपल करने के लिए इजी हो। इस तरीके से भी यू कैन फॉर्मुलेट, इतना कर दिया आपने, ये आपके सेपरेट नोट बनाने के लिए काम में आ जाएगा। ये टेस्ट के लिए तो छोटे छोटे में ही आप लिखना शुरू करो, अदरवाइज थिंग्स विल बिकम वेरी वेरी बल्की एंड इट विल बी वेरी वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू रिवाइज। तो छोटे छोटे कॉन्सेप्ट हैं, जहां भी गलती कर रहे हो उसको लिखना शुरू करो। और जब भी यहां से, फॉर एग्जांपल कनिष्क कटारिया का एग्जांपल है कि व्हेन ही वाज कमिंग फ्रॉम शादीपुर टू दिस प्लेस करोल बाग, तो जब आते और जाते ही वो अपने नोट्स ऐसे ही बनाते थे, और आते ही जाते ही नोट्स को रिवाइज कर लिया करते थे। ही यूज्ड टू क्रिएट ऑडियो नोट्स एज वेल, लेकिन वो उनको आते जाते सुनते थे। लेकिन वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट इज व्हाट, दैट यू शुड बी मेकिंग दीज शॉर्ट नोट्स। शॉर्ट नोट्स को क्रिएट कर लो, जैसे अभी हम लोग डिस्कस ही कर रहे हैं, है ना। और देयर आर फ्यू फैक्ट दैट यू हैव टू रिमेंबर, क्योंकि पॉलिटी तो एनीवेज यू हैव फिनिश्ड, यू हैव डन पीवाईक्यूज। तो कुछ नए फैक्ट जो मिल रहे हैं आपको, लग रहा है कि चीजें मैं याद कर सकता हूं, तो ट्राई टू राइट डाउन इन सेपरेट page and you will be revising whenever you are getting time. For example, whenever you are going to some place, तो थोड़ा समय मिल रहा है तो वहां पर भी आप रिवाइज करो, क्योंकि टाइम इज रियली लेस एंड वी हैव लॉट ऑफ कंपटीशन, है ना। कम समय में, उनके पास भी कम समय रहा होगा, है कि नहीं। मैथमेटिक्स ऑप्शनल, और जब उन्होंने किया तो ऑप्शनल, मैथ्स का ऑप्शनल उन्होंने शुरू ही किया था, है कि नहीं। और लेकिन वो भी 1 साल के भीतर उन्होंने फर्स्ट रैंक निकाला, and that is one of the most crucial milestone that he has achieved. तो अभी आपको कोशिश करना है कि आप भी थोड़ा सा वो टॉपर्स का माइंडसेट लेके चलेंगे. डू नॉट क्रिएट बर्डन ऑन योरसेल्फ कि भैया यहां पर भी एक अलग नोट बनेगा और जाऊंगा घर में एक और एकदम फेयर बनाऊंगा. डू नॉट डू दैट. एक ही बार करना है एंड ट्राई टू डू दैट इन द फाइनल टाइम. दैट इज फर्स्ट ऑप्शन इज अंडर आर्टिकल 267, that is parliament may by law establish the contingency fund. Fund shall be placed at the disposal of prime minister. लिखा हुआ है prime minister. Such kind of, for example, traps is also being set by UPSC, that is prime minister है, लेकिन इसका आंसर क्या होगा? It is placed under the president. And who manages that? Finance secretary. Yes, so second option is wrong. Second option is wrong. The fund is used to meet the unforeseen expenditure. Unforeseen expenditure, that is correct option. Correct. तो सिर्फ दो ऑप्शन गलत हुआ है, सेकंड ऑप्शन गलत हुआ है, तो करेक्ट आंसर वुड बी B, that is 2 only. That is, this particular news was in news. Nirmala Sitharaman announces rupees 500 crore contingency fund for Manipur in Lok Sabha. That is, this particular fund will be managed by secretary, that is secretary of Ministry of Finance and on the behalf of president. ये याद रखेंगे कि this particular fact has been asked by UPSC multiple times and they have repeated. If you will solve ना 2013 के बाद के सारे PYQs of polity, you will find that majority of questions are being concept. For example, money bill के बिना पेपर बनाते ही नहीं हो. Have you seen question on money bills? तो अभी recent times में आप देखोगे कि money bill पे हर साल लगभग मतलब कि in on and every year every year basis they are asking this particular question on money bill, है ना. तो कोशिश करेंगे कि आप थोड़ा सा PYQs को देखेंगे. Next is question on next concept. They have asked regarding the Gram Nyayalayas Act of 2008. Now we know that at the village level we have Gram Panchayat. At the block level we have intermediate Panchayat, that is contiguous Panchayat, and district level पे क्या होता है? जिला परिषद. Now at the block level it exercise, that is Gram Nyayalayas have been established and it exercises both civil and criminal powers. Both civil and criminal powers. If you will see that is under this Gram Nyayalaya Act of 2008, that is, it establishes Gram Nyayalayas at the intermediate panchayat levels with the group of neighboring panchayat or in the areas lacking panchayat within the state. Establishment is not mandatory because there is a population criteria. 20 लाख की population है तो आप बना सकते हैं, but it is not a mandatory provision. It is not a mandatory provision to create these intermediate panchayat. That is, establishment is not mandatory and state government established Gram Nyayalayas in consultation with High Court. In consultation with High Court. ये बहुत ही फैक्चुअल चीजें हैं, आपको याद रखनी ही पड़ेंगी, मतलब इसमें कोई और तरीका नहीं है. That is, यहाँ पर ये ट्रैप दे देंगे, सुप्रीम कोर्ट का ट्रैप दे देंगे, but you have to be very very careful. And these are established as a court and they have both the powers, that is they exercise both civil and criminal, that is civil and criminal court. They act as a both civil and criminal court. And Nyayadhikaris must have qualifications of a first class judicial magistrate. First class judicial magistrate appointed by the state government after consulting with the High Court, and they hold equal salary and authority as first class magistrate in the हाई कोर्ट. इसमें जो जो इंपॉर्टेंट इंफॉर्मेशन लगता है आप शॉर्ट में लिख सकते हैं, बिकॉज और जैसे ही ये सेशन खत्म होता है आप उसका नोट्स बना डालिए. दैट इज, हम लोगों ने पढ़ा कि इट इज विद रिस्पेक्ट टू इंटरमीडिएट लेवल पे है, एंड दैट स्टेट गवर्नमेंट एस्टैब्लिश्ड दीस ग्राम न्यायालयास विद द कंसल्टेशन ऑफ हाई कोर्ट, एंड इट इज एट द इंटरमीडिएट लेवल, एंड एस्टैब्लिशमेंट इज नॉट मैंडेटरी. लेट्स सी द क्वेश्चन. Question number 46. Let's see question, that is, state government appoint Nyayadhikaris for every Gram Nyayalaya in consultation with the Supreme Court. In consultation with the Supreme Court. They have mentioned that कि Supreme Court के consultation पे. सही है क्या? Wrong. It is at in the consultation with the High Court under the Gram Nyayalaya Act of 2008. कितने लोगों ने ये statement सही किया था, मतलब इनको पता था? Very good, शाबाश, वेरी गुड. मतलब आप लोगों ने लक्ष्मीकांत अच्छे से रिवाइज किया है कि नहीं? और यू हैव टू सी दैट यू आर रिवाइजिंग दिस लक्ष्मीकांत एटलीस्ट 7-8 टाइम्स. बिफोर गोइंग टू द प्रीलिम्स एग्जामिनेशन कोशिश करना है कि 7-8 बार रिवाइज हो जाए, है कि नहीं, इवन विद रिस्पेक्ट टू दोज प्रोविजन टिल द बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर, है ना, वो जो यूनिट नंबर 1 से लेके बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर तक का जितने भी टॉपिक है वो मल्टीपल टाइम्स ऑफ रिवीजन शुड बी देयर, because if you'll see the majority of questions they are asking from the topic of parliament or legislature, and the next important topic that is very important is with respect to constitution, the basic constitution, for example fundamental right, DPSP, that is preamble and various other features of the constitutions. So in those aspects they are asking. तो अभी ये समझ में आ गया आपको कि फर्स्ट ऑप्शन इज wrong. Second is to be eligible for appointment as a Nyayadhikari, a person must qualify for the appointment as a judicial magistrate of the first class. This was already there. We have already seen. देखा है कि नहीं देखा है अभी? Yes. That is, Nyayadhikaris must have qualification of a first class judicial magistrate. First class judicial magistrate. That is, with respect to this, क्या है हमें समझ में आया कि that is to be eligible for the appointment as a Nyayadhikaris, a person must qualify as appointment as a judicial magistrate of first class. Then it is bound by the rules of evidence provided under the Indian Evidence Act of 1872. Indian Evidence Act of 1872. Under this Indian Evidence Act, this was a colonial legacy which we have continued during the Britishers' time. They have made this particular act specifically for the, that is, for example, they were citing that is ambiguous provision. For example, section 123 and 124 was there. With respect to section 123 and 124 of Indian Evidence Act, they are providing that, for example, no unpublished information can be published in the Court of India. No unpublished information can be published in the Court of India. So, for example, if you being, for example, sir, आपका नाम क्या है? अनुराग ने कहा कि मेरे पास ये डॉक्यूमेंट है, इस डॉक्यूमेंट के बेसिस पे सरकार करप्शन कर रही है, इस डॉक्यूमेंट के बेसिस पे सरकार करप्शन कर रही है, तो सरकार क्या कहेगी? गवर्नमेंट विल ऑलवेज से दैट इज कि वी हैव नॉट पब्लिश दिस इंफॉर्मेशन, हमने तो पब्लिश ही नहीं किया है. अगर हमने पब्लिश नहीं किया, सो नाउ यू हैव टू प्रूव दैट फ्रॉम वेयर यू हैव गॉट दिस पर्टिकुलर डॉक्यूमेंट. नाउ यू विल बी charged under these provisions of section 123 and 124 of Indian Evidence Act. For example, Prashant Bhushan was there. He was being held for this, violating this section 123 and 124 of Indian Evidence Act. Later on, he was given protection by the Supreme Court. Are you getting or not? So various other provisions were there, but it is not with respect to Indian Evidence Act. It is with respect to principle of natural justice, and it is a mobile court. It exercises both civil and criminal. It exercises both civil and criminal court powers. So आपको ये याद रखना है, अभी अपने कॉपी में लिखो नोट्स में कि with respect to this, that is every ग्राम न्यायालय को the state government appoint न्यायाधिकारी for every ग्राम न्यायालय in consultation with high court. Second statement is what? That is with respect to उसके पास कैसा एक्सपीरियंस होना चाहिए? Must qualify for appointment as a judicial magistrate of first class. And then third is with respect to principle of natural justice, or fourth option is with respect to this, it functions as mobile court and exercises civil court powers and as well as criminal court powers. ये याद रहेगा सभी को. Yes, ये थोड़ा फैक्चुअल है. कितने लोग का ये क्वेश्चन सही हुआ था? सही हुआ था only 4. Rest of them what you have mentioned. थर्ड स्टेटमेंट तो गलत है. इट इज बाउंड बाय रूल ऑफ एविडेंस प्रोवाइडेड इन द इंडियन एविडेंस एक्ट ऑफ 1872. इट इज गाइडेड बाय प्रिंसिपल ऑफ नेचुरल जस्टिस. प्रिंसिपल ऑफ नेचुरल जस्टिस इंडियन एविडेंस एक्ट में मैंने अभी बताया ना, दिस पर्टिकुलर इंडियन एविडेंस एक्ट इज अ पार्ट ऑफ कॉलोनियल लेगेसी, है ना. जैसे हम लोग उन लॉस के कैटेगरी में रखते हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल ऑफिशियल सीक्रेट एक्ट, इवन एनएसए वाज देयर, और इंडियन एविडेंस एक्ट उस कैटेगरी में रखते हैं बिकॉज देयर आर वेरियस प्रोविजंस through which the rights of citizens have been curtailed. For example, we were given the example of section 123 and 124. Yes, 123 and 124 कि for example no unpublished information can be used in the court of law, है ना. और लेकिन वो कौन सी सरकार चाहेगी ऐसा कि भैया मैं करप्शन कर रहा हूं और मैंने ये फाइल निकाला है कि मैं करप्शन कर रहा हूं? ऐसा थोड़ी होता है. It is मतलब कि कुछ भी ambiguous provisions were there, and it is not, मतलब it is a limitation of Indian Evidence Act, but we are not dealing with Indian Evidence Act here. वो तो other aspect है. We are dealing with the principle of natural justice. it is yes, it is following principle of naturalness. Yes, very good. Next particular question is, that is question number 47. Question number 47. Let's see question number 47. That is, consider the following statement regarding municipal institutions in India. Municipal institutions in India. That is 74th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1992 provide constitutional framework for the governance of municipalities, including urban planning and land use regulation. ये तो बहुत ही सिंप्लीफाइड स्टेटमेंट है. इसको किसी ने गलत किया है क्या? इसको किसी ने, तो ये तो बहुत ही सिंपल स्टेटमेंट है. दैट इज 74th कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट वाज डीलिंग विद द म्युनिसिपैलिटीज. देन नेक्स्ट इज, अकॉर्डिंग टू द 74th अमेंडमेंट, all revenues from entertainment tax are now exclusively collected by union government following the implementation of GST. See, it does not, with respect to this, what is being mentioned, all revenues from entertainment tax are now exclusively collected by union government following the implementation of GST. See, various states have not been given power, and various states have separately made law regarding the collection of entertainment tax. For example, it does not, GST although has subsumed various types of taxes, but with respect to entertainment tax, they have not specified. That is, does not specify the local bodies can still levy entertainment tax, but some states have these provisions. For example, Maharashtra is there and Tamil Nadu is there. Yes, that is being provided in your model answer as well. That is second statement is wrong. Second statement is wrong. अगर आप elimination technique भी लगाते तो all revenues from entertainment tax are now exclusively, multiple words are there, so you can easily eliminate through that as well. They were trying to make that statement extreme. Next is, urban local bodies are empowered under Article 243X to impose taxes, while Article 243Y mandate the state finance commissions to recommend the devolution of taxes to these bodies. Devolution of taxes to these bodies. If you will see 243X and 243Y, तो अगर आप थर्ड स्टेटमेंट देखेंगे, that is Article 243X empowers state government to authorize urban local bodies to impose taxes, duties, tolls and fees, and Article 243Y deals with the physical responsibilities of State Finance Commission, including the review and recommendation regarding the distribution and devolution of financial resources to these municipalities. So third statement is correct, and it is a very simple. अगर आप कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल आर्टिकल में भी नहीं जाओगे तो इवन इन द सिंप्लीफाइड फॉर्म आल्सो अर्बन लोकल बॉडीज आर empowered to impose taxes and mandated the state finance commission to recommend the devolution of taxes to these bodies. Then also this statement seems right, but अब आपको ये आर्टिकल जैसे मिल गया है तो you should be memorizing these articles from now onwards. आपको याद भी होना चाहिए. See, when you will be attempting your paper in UPSC examination, all these facts will be very crucial for you. कि आपको फॉर एग्जांपल 243 में दिख गया ना तो आपके दिमाग में जाएगा कि अरे ये तो इट इज विद रिस्पेक्ट टू ग्रास रूट लेवल ऑफ द डेमोक्रेसी. यस, है ना, कि फॉर एग्जांपल लोकल लेवल पे के बारे में बात कर रहा होगा, तो इतना दिमाग घूमना चाहिए, है कि नहीं, ताकि आप इन द एग्जामिनेशन यू कैन एलिमिनेट दोज ऑप्शन. एंड ट्रस्ट मी, व्हाटएवर यू विल बी रीडिंग हियर, जो भी सुन रहे हैं आपको, वहां सब चीजें, सारा नॉलेज काम में आता है. कि एक बार आपने पढ़ लिया, सुन लिया, तो वो सारा नॉलेज आपका काम में आता है. तो हमेशा अटेंटिव रहना है. तो अगर मैं देखता हूं सेकंड स्टेटमेंट, तो सेकंड स्टेटमेंट इज रॉन्ग, फर्स्ट एंड थर्ड स्टेटमेंट इज करेक्ट. करेक्ट आंसर वुड बी 1 and 3. कितने लोगों ने गलत किया था? गलत हुआ था सर, किस कारण से? हाँ, नहीं, ये that is a valid argument that he has given. That is, लेकिन मतलब कि with respect to this, अगर आपको भी याद करना है, और ये नॉर्मल गलती होती है, मतलब कि ये बहुत ही नॉर्मल गलती है और ये होती है, मैक्सिमम मैनी ऑफ यू विल बी डूइंग दैट. तो कोशिश करना है कि अब इसके बारे में, इसको जानने के बाद, फॉर एग्जांपल नाउ, फ्रॉम नाउ ऑनवर्ड्स, आपका ये कोशिश होना चाहिए कि अब मुझसे ये गलती ना हो. मेरे से एक बार गलती हुआ कि फॉर एग्जांपल फॉर इन माय फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट व्हाट आई डिड कि इनकरेक्ट, और उस अभी तो डार्क कर देते हैं इनकरेक्ट वगैरह को, उस टाइम पे तो वो भी नहीं हुआ करता था, तो मेरे से वो गलती हो गई. देन उस दिन मैं बहुत ही पेन में था कि मेरे से क्वेश्चन गलत हुआ, एंड फ्रॉम नेक्स्ट टाइम ऑनवर्ड्स आई हैव इंश्योर्ड दैट कि वो इनकरेक्ट वाले ऑप्शंस गलत ना हो। तो लाइक वाइज ऐसा कुछ अगर आपने पढ़ा है, मान लो कुछ गलतियां आप करते हो, तो यू हैव टू इंश्योर दैट कि अगर अब ये वाला चीज हो गया 243x एंड 243y, तो यू शुड बी मेमोराइजिंग नाउ, अभी थोड़ा सा याद कर लेंगे। द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज विद रिस्पेक्ट टू, सी अब ऐसे वाले क्वेश्चन आ गए, with reference to right of person with disabilities, consider the following statement. Yes, the first statement is as a signatory to the, अब मुझे elimination टेक्निक लगा के दिखाना है, इसमें मुझे दिखाना कि ऐसे क्वेश्चन में लगेगा भी, लेकिन बाकी सारे पॉलिटी वाले क्वेश्चन में इट इज अ कॉन्सेप्चुअल पार्ट है ना, तो यू हैव टू बी लिटिल केयरफुल। As a signatory to the UN Convention on Right of Person with Disabilities, अब देखो डिसेबिलिटीज के रिस्पेक्ट में है तो इंडिया विल बी अ सिग्नेटरी, मतलब ये अगर आपने थोड़ा बहुत भी पढ़ाई करी है तो वी विल बी नोइंग दिस फैक्ट, दैट इज इंडिया इज ऑब्लिगेटेड टू प्रमोट एक्सेसिबिलिटी एज एन essential right. Even India has, with respect to various schemes also, they have made this accessibility as a essential right, and वो कुछ नहीं कह रहा है कि person with disabilities को एक्सेसिबल, मतलब कि विद रिस्पेक्ट टू वेरियस काइंड ऑफ सर्विसेज उनको एक्सेसिबल बनाने के उसने बोला है essential right. It is a just, it seems that it is a extreme statement, but it is a generalistic statement. दोबारा पढ़ो, that India is obligated to promote accessibility as an essential right, कि जिसके पास नहीं है वो सुविधा उनको एक्सेसिबल करवाना है। सिंपल स्टेटमेंट है, जनरलिस्टिक स्टेटमेंट है, that seems to be right. In its current form, right of person with disabilities rules do not provide for non-negotiable compulsory standards but only persuasive guidelines. Non-negotiable does not provide for the non-negotiable compulsory standard but only a persuasive guideline. So it is what, क्या कोई भी कन्वेंशन इंडिया को बोल सकता है कि विद रिस्पेक्ट टू दिस यू हैव टू मेक दिस एज अ मैंडेटरी प्रोविजंस? नहीं बोल सकता। इट शुड बी लाइक अ रिकमेंडरी इन नेचर और एडवाइजरी इन नेचर और इन द फॉर्म ऑफ परसुएसिव इन नेचर, है कि नहीं? और इट इज ऑल्सो अ जनरलिस्टिक स्टेटमेंट, तो करेक्ट आंसर वुड बी सी। वेरी वेरी सिंपल क्वेश्चन, अगर आप थोड़ा सा एलिमिनेशन टेक्निक वगैरह से जाएंगे तो इट विल बी, मॉडल आंसर में यही बेसिक चीजें दी हुई है, तो आप थोड़ा सा इसको देख, यू कैन गो थ्रू ऑल दिस मॉडल आंसर्स, थोड़ा सा कोशिश करेंगे, पढ़ लेंगे। नेक्स्ट पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन इज क्वेश्चन नंबर 52। इन 10 मिनट्स विल बी स्टार्टिंग विद ज्योग्राफी ऑल्सो, तो थोड़ा सा देखते हैं, डिस्कस कर लेते हैं, पॉलिटी वाले सारे क्वेश्चन को खत्म कर लेते हैं। दैट इज कंसीडर द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट कंसर्निंग रेगुलेटरी एक्ट ऑफ 1773। सी ऑल दीज एक्ट्स आर वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। जिन्होंने भी पहले भी अटेम्प्ट अगर दिया हो और अगर पीवाईक्यूज देखा हो, हर साल एक क्वेश्चन होगा। गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया एक्ट ऑफ 1935, फॉर एग्जांपल पिट्स इंडिया एक्ट इज देयर, रेगुलेटिंग एक्ट इज देयर, हर साल होगा। गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया एक्ट ऑफ फॉर एग्जांपल 1947 एक्ट, वो भी इंपॉर्टेंट है। तो कोशिश करना है कि अगर क्वेश्चन आता ही है उस जोन से तो 2-3 बार उसको रिवाइज कर लो, दैट इज वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट। अभी ये देखो, इससे पता भी चल रहा है कि दीज आर वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग्स, तो यू शुड बी गोइंग बाय दैट, है ना, कि दैट इज एक्ट इनिशिएटेड डिसेंट्रलाइज्ड गवर्नेंस, डिसेंट्रलाइज्ड की सेंट्रलाइज करने की, कि विद रिस्पेक्ट टू दे हैव ट्राइड टू कंसोलिडेट द पावर। With respect to regulating act of 1773, it consolidated the administrative authority within the British India. It mandated the establishment of board of control to oversee the company's revenue, civil and military matters in India. Regulating act of 1773 के अंदर पे क्या ऐसा प्रोविजन बनाया गया था? क्या बोर्ड ऑफ कंट्रोल कहां पर आया था? पिट्स इंडिया एक्ट में क्या क्या आया था? बोर्ड ऑफ कंट्रोल तो था ही, बोर्ड ऑफ कंट्रोल था ही, और कौन सा था? यस मैम बताइए ना। यस, कोड ऑफ लॉयर्स वर देयर, और एंड अदर प्रोविजंस। यस, वेरी गुड। तो अब आपको ये दोनों प्रोविजंस आपको याद होने चाहिए। बोर्ड ऑफ कंट्रोल तो बहुत ही यूपीएससी ने कितनी बार रिपीट किया होगा, कितनी बार रिपीट किया। यू ट्राई टू सी द पीवाईक्यू, यू विल फाइंडिंग that कि multiple times this particular question of board of control they have asked. तो कोशिश करना है कि ऐसी गलतियां ना करें। किसी ने गलत किया था क्या इसको? अच्छा, क्या सोच, मतलब ये पीवाईक्यूज किया आपने? रिवाइज नहीं हुआ है। पीवाईक्यूज करना है, मतलब प्लीज कोशिश करना है कि प्रीलिम्स में जाने के पहले मैं जस्ट थोड़ा सा टाइम लूंगा कि अगर ज्योग्राफी है ना, ज्योग्राफी है 1995 से लेके 2024 तक के सारे पीवाईक्यूज करके जाना है। एवरी ऑप्शन पे मास्टरी होनी चाहिए, हर एक ऑप्शन। ट्रस्ट मी, अगर एक बार कर लिया ना, लाइफ बहुत इजी हो जाएगी। You will be seeing that majority of persons will be getting कुछ rarest of rare person will be getting approximately 141 marks, 140 नंबर आ रहे हैं, है ना, 135 नंबर आ रहे हैं, और कुछ लोग वो जो कट ऑफ है ना वहीं पर स्टक हो जाएंगे। आप देखेंगे आपके टाइम पे भी होगा ऐसे, कुछ लोग के यार पता नहीं कैसे मार्क्स आ जाते हैं। कुछ नहीं है कि फर्स्ट that is very very important aspect is what they have done mastery in these PYQs। मास्टरी मतलब कि हर एक ऑप्शन है मास्टरी। अगर मैं कहूंगा ज्योग्राफी, अगर 1995 से 2024 तक के सारे क्वेश्चन कर लिए आपने ना, मेजॉरिटी ऑफ दीज क्वेश्चंस विल बी रिपीटिंग। लास्ट ईयर जितने भी क्वेश्चन थे वो सारे पुराने ही कॉन्सेप्ट पूछे हुए हैं, हर एक ऑप्शन को नया क्वेश्चन बना के पूछा हुआ है ना। कोशिश करेंगे विद रिस्पेक्ट टू हिस्ट्री ऑल्सो, विद रिस्पेक्ट टू साइंस यू हैव टू स्टार्ट फ्रॉम 2008, मतलब ये करना ही करना है, मैंडेटरी है। विद रिस्पेक्ट टू इन्वायरमेंट एंड इकोनॉमी यू हैव टू कवर फ्रॉम 2013 से 2024, 2013 से 2024, 2013 से 2024। और कौन सा सब्जेक्ट बच गया? पॉलिटी। पॉलिटी फ्रॉम, कोशिश करेंगे फ्रॉम 2005 टू 2024। इतना ही तो करना है। कोशिश करो कि ये सब चीजें अच्छे से हो जाएं, है ना। मल्टीपल टाइम यू ट्राई टू डू दीज ऑप्शंस, बार बार एनालाइज करो। फॉर एग्जांपल अगर आप इन्वायरमेंट में देखोगे, किसी ने पीवाईक्यू किया इन्वायरमेंट का, है ना, मेजॉरिटी ऑफ यू हैव डन दैट। हैव यू सीन दैट कि एक एक ऑप्शन को क्वेश्चन बना रहा है यूपीएससी ना। डॉल्फिन हो गया, कितनी बार पूछ लिया उन्होंने, है ना। मेजॉरिटी वही बर्ड्स के नाम बार बार रिपीट कर रहे हैं, मल्टीपल टाइम दे आर आस्किंग द सेम क्वेश्चंस। फॉर एग्जांपल एक ही वही विद रिस्पेक्ट टू चंबल है, या फिर वो जो कोस्टल एरिया के कुछ लोकेशंस हैं, दे आर आस्किंग मल्टीपल टाइम्स। सो यू शुड बी फोकसिंग अपॉन मास्टरी इन दीज एरियाज ऑफ पीवाईक्यू। कोशिश करेंगे, सभी लोग कोशिश करेंगे। यस, तो अब ये हो गया। एंड दिस पर्टिकुलर वॉट एवर प्रोविजंस, जो भी कुछ गलतियां थी, दैट इज एक्ट ऑफ सेटलमेंट 1781 में वो सुधारने की कोशिश किया था। फॉर एग्जांपल यहां पर कलकत्ता में एक सुप्रीम कोर्ट ले आया गया। नाउ इट क्रिएटेड लॉट ऑफ कंफ्यूजन विद रिस्पेक्ट टू रेस्ट पार्ट ऑफ इंडिया। तो उस सारी गलतियों को सुधारा गया एक्ट ऑफ सेटलमेंट ऑफ 1781। दैट इज लेजिस्लेटिव फ्रेमवर्क was subsequently refined by Act of Settlement of 1781 which aimed to rectify its deficiencies। तो अगर इसमें देखा जाए तो इफ यू गो बाय एलिमिनेशन, तो अगर सेकंड स्टेटमेंट आपको पता है तो यू कैन एलिमिनेट बी एंड सी। थर्ड ऑप्शन तो इसने पहले ही बता दिया कि सही है। अगर सेकंड ऑप्शन आपको पता है थ्रू पीवाईक्यूज, तो थर्ड ऑप्शन इज डेफिनेटली करेक्ट। एंड फर्स्ट ऑप्शन, वी नो दैट रेगुलेटिंग एक्ट ऑफ 1773 focuses upon consolidating the power, consolidation of powers. This section of this act are very very important. Question number 65. Question number 65. That is, the enforcement of directive principle is not obligatory. ये क्वेश्चन पूछा था यूपीएससी ने, नॉन जस्टिसेबल लिखा हुआ था, नॉट obligatory, and their implement article 37 याद है। The enforcement of directive principle is not obligatory and their implementation cannot be mandated by judicial means. What is that? That is, it is non-justiciable. It is non-justiciable. Simple line from Article 37. Although it is non-justiciable, but that should be considered as important for the governance. इस direction में. For example, whenever we say policy, policy का मतलब ही क्या होता है? नीति. नीति means to carry forward. To carry forward, क्या carry forward? ले जाना, कहाँ लेके जाना? Toward right direction. By what? Giving all these services to the people. By empowering people. By giving capacity, by doing capacity development of the people. Are you getting or not? तो क्या कर रहे हैं हम? Directive principle of state policy. At that particular time or at this time, we do not have the kind of resources to make these provisions as a mandatory provisions. लेकिन in future they should be becoming importance in the governance. That is, enforcement of DPSP is not obligatory and their implementation cannot be mandated by judicial means. First option is correct. Matter pertaining to personal law, 42nd constitutional amendment, that is, are categorized under the union list in the 7th schedule of the constitution. मैटर पर्टेनिंग टू पर्सनल लॉ. पर्सनल लॉ अगर आप देखोगे 40 सेकंड, यस यस, that is personal law like marriage, divorce, inheritance falls under the concurrent list, falls under the concurrent list. If you will see these personal laws, that is with respect to personal laws like marriage, divorce, inheritance falls under the concurrent list, allowing both union and state legislature to legislate on this matter. And with respect to DPSP, it is being provided that it is non-justiciable in nature. Multiple times asked by UPSC, अगर आप देखोगे हर साल एक क्वेश्चन इस पे होता है. That is, these principles are not enforceable by court as stated in Article 37. However, they are considered fundamental to the governance of the country. Fundamental to the governance of the country. इस स्टेटमेंट में यूपीएससी ने कई बार कंफ्यूज किया है, कई बार नॉन जस्टिसिएबल, इसी लाइन पे कई दफा. मेधा आनंद रैंक 13 जब ये स्टेटमेंट आया था, ऑल्दो शी क्लियर्ड प्रीलिम्स दैट ईयर, लेकिन जब ये स्टेटमेंट आया वो रात में, मतलब कि इन एट दैट पर्टिकुलर टाइम आफ्टर गिविंग दैट पेपर शी वाज क्राइंग. व्हाई? बिकॉज दिस पर्टिकुलर ऑप्शन समझ नहीं पाई वो कि प्रिंसिपल आर नॉट इन्फोर्सेबल बाय एनी कोर्ट एज स्टेटेड इन आर्टिकल 37. और जिस तरीके से यूपीएससी ने फ्रेम किया था, कंफ्यूजिंग था, थोड़ा कंफ्यूजिंग लग रहा था. तो कभी कभी कि ऊपर लिखा हुआ है सही, विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट, विच ऑफ द अबव स्टेटमेंट्स आर नॉट करेक्ट, ऐसा भी स्टेटमेंट फ्रेम करेंगे. तो कोशिश करना है कि ट्राई टू बी वेरी वेरी अटेम्प्टिव. इजी लिख रहा है लेकिन वहां एग्जामिनेशन में अटेम्प्ट करने पे हो सकता है डिफिकल्ट हो जाए, तो कोशिश करेंगे कि थोड़ा सा केयरफुल रहेंगे. तो इन दिस पर्टिकुलर थिंग वी हैव सीन कि दैट इज मैटर पर्टेनिंग टू पर्सनल लॉस लाइक मैरिज, डाइवोर्स, इनहेरिटेंस फॉल्स अंडर द कंकरेंट लिस्ट. तो सेकंड ऑप्शन इज wrong, not union list, and it is very very easy statement, option A. Correct answer is option A. Now with respect to judicial review, is it statutory? Judicial review is a statutory thing. Has it been established to the statute books? To statute books? No. Yes, that is judicial review. That is, it ensures that is laws or executive frameworks that have been made, laws and executive actions comply with the provisions of constitution, and it serve as a check on constitutionality of government action. Government action पे, that is with respect to government action, whether it is right or not, that is, it is putting check on the government's action, that is executive actions. Now let's see, it assess the legitimacy of the government actions against the constitutional frameworks. Yes, कि कुछ भी लॉ ना बना दे, है ना, कि whether they are violating basic structure or not with respect to other things, कहीं ऐसा कुछ ना बना दें कि with respect to basic structure ही पूरा violate हो जाए. That is, it assess the legitimacy of government action against the constitutional framework. First option is correct. Second is, it can secure the constitution from any undue encroachment by the government. On the similar lines, second statement is also correct. Yes, on the similar lines, sir. Third statement, judicial review is not a statutory in nature. That is also correct. It is not a statutory in nature. And through the judicial doctrine evolution, they have established the judicial review. In judicial review, the court examines the ruling made by inferior court to determine whether such a decision was correct or not. See, it is a part of appellate jurisdiction. अगर मान लो यहाँ पर भी कुछ गलत होता है तो जुडिशरी क्या करती है, या तो सुओ मोटो इंटरवेंशन करती है, या फिर थ्रू अपील यू कैन गो टू द कोर्ट्स. दैट इज part of appellate jurisdiction. That is, judicial review is about examining the constitutionality of laws, executive actions, and administrative decisions. Fourth option is correct. Correct answer is what? Only 3. Yes. Now with respect to other question, yes, question number 87. Question number 87. That is, Parliament Prevention of Disqualification Act exempts several posts from disqualification on the grounds of office of profit. That is correct. The above mentioned act has been amended 5 times to reduce the list, to increase, to expand the list, and ये जो statement आएगा 100% of time, अभी तक के PYQs में 100% of time the statement will be wrong, well defined. अभी तक कोई ऐसा क्वेश्चन नहीं मिला है मुझे. 2 टाइप के क्वेश्चंस होते हैं. अगर कभी ऐसा लिख दिया जाए कि कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया स्टेट्स, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया डिफाइंस, अगर आप पीवाईक्यूज देखेंगे 99% केसेस में वो स्टेटमेंट गलत होगा, है ना. अगर ऐसा कुछ लिखता है वो, यू हैव टू सी द पीवाईक्यूज फॉर दैट. पूरा पीवाईक्यूज अगर आप मास्टरी कर लेंगे देन यू विल बी गेटिंग दीस स्नैक्स. एंड सेकंड टाइप ऑफ दिस, इट इज वेल डिफाइंड, वेल डिफाइंड कोई चीज नहीं है, वेल डिफाइंड का कोई डेफिनेशन नहीं है, इट इज एम्बिगियस, दैट इज द टर्म ऑफिस ऑफ प्रॉफिट is well defined in the Constitution of India. 2 and 3 statements are wrong. Correct answer would be A. And it has been expanded multiple times. For example, 1960s, 1977, 1993, 2006 and 2013. ये याद कर लो क्योंकि पहले भी डिलिमिटेशन के बारे में पूछ लिया है. Last year also they have asked regarding that. Yes. तो कोशिश करो कि याद कर लो क्योंकि ऐसे क्वेश्चन यूपीएससी बनाना शुरू कर दिया है. तो यू शुड बी, अगर एक बार आप क्वेश्चन आ भी गया है and office of profit has been asked by UPSC previously. So this is an important thing. Now consider the following provisions in the Indian Constitution. Federal scheme and office of governor. It is being taken from Government of India Act of 1935. Advisory jurisdiction of Supreme Court. It has been taken from Canadian Constitution. Then impeachment of president and removal of Supreme Court judges. It has been taken from USA Constitution. And concurrent list. It is taken from the Australian Constitution. The question asks, how many of the above provisions in Indian Constitution are directly borrowed from Constitution of different countries other than India? तो क्या होगा, Canadian Constitution से हम लोगों ने लिया है advisory jurisdiction, US Constitution से हम लोगों ने लिया है impeachment of president and removal of Supreme Court judges, and Australian Constitution से concurrent list. ये याद कर लो, borrowing features of the government. एक statement कभी अगर साहब frame करता है, and that will be very easy statement even in the UPSC exam, तो कोशिश करना है कि एक पेज है लक्ष्मीकांत का, उसको याद कर लो, रट लो, है ना, उसको बस मेमोराइज करना है and you'll be done. That is correct answer would be only 3. आपको ये याद करना ही पड़ेगा, कोई इसमें रॉकेट साइंस नहीं है, बस जिसने मेमोराइज किया है उसको बनेगा. Next question is with respect to consider the following statement regarding distribution of powers between center and state in Indian Constitution. Constitution expressly secures the predominance of union list over the state list. Yes. And concurrent list, क्योंकि उसमें union भी है, that of concurrent list over the state list. That is also correct. The residuary subject are mentioned in, which are not mentioned in any of the three lists, are assigned to the centers. It includes the power to levy residuary taxes. That is correct statement. Yes. सही है. रेजिडुअरी पावर क्या होती है? दैट इज फॉर एग्जांपल साइबर लॉज एंड ऑल. तो उसमें क्या होता है कि दैट इज इफ एनीथिंग, फॉर एग्जांपल साइबर क्राइम्स आर इवॉल्विंग इन नेचर, वी आर सीइंग वेरियस टाइप ऑफ क्राइम. फॉर एग्जांपल man in the middle scam is there. For example, phishing scams are there. Even IT laws that have been mentioned by Indian, for example, India has not included. When it was included, it was to, for example, to specify this e-contract. Then in future they have amended in 2008. 2008 में अमेंडमेंट किया, 2011 की गाइडलाइंस आई, बहुत टाइम के बाद भी दे हैव नॉट इंक्लूडेड वेरियस टाइप ऑफ क्राइम्स एज वेल. तो इवोल्यूशन तो होता ही जा रहा है, एंड सर्टेन एस्पेक्ट व्हिच आर नॉट कमिंग इन एनी ऑफ दीस थ्री लिस्ट, दे विल बी पार्ट ऑफ रेजिडुअरी लिस्ट, एंड द पावर रिगार्डिंग देम इज गिवन टू whom? किसको मिला है? Yes, to the center. Then subject like adulteration of foodstuffs, education, forest, trade union, marriage, adoption, succession are part of concurrent list. Remember, अभी इसके पहले भी देखा था personal laws, 42nd constitutional amendment. That is, it has given, that is 5 subject को put किया किसमें? Concurrent list में from the state list. State list से उठा के कुछ subject को concurrent list में रख दिया. ये बहुत ही important line है, मतलब इतनी इंपॉर्टेंट लाइन है कि एवरी ईयर यू विल बी फाइंडिंग सम सॉर्ट ऑफ क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम दीज. 42nd कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट एक्ट इज 42nd एंड 44th इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. हर एक लाइन, हर एक वर्ड याद होना चाहिए. समझ में आ रहा है क्या? यस, दैट इज एजुकेशन, फॉरेस्ट, वेट एंड मेजर्स, प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ वाइल्ड एनिमल्स एंड बर्ड्स, एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ऑफ जस्टिस, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन एंड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ऑफ ऑल कोर्ट एक्सेप्ट सुप्रीम कोर्ट एंड हाई कोर्ट. All these provisions have been mentioned in have been put in concurrent list. That is इसमें क्या सही होगा हम लोग देख लेते हैं. पहला ऑप्शन हमारा क्या था? It was with respect to very easy. That is constitution expressly secures the predominance of union list over the state list and concurrent list over the state list. Correct है. Second is with respect to residuary power, किसके पास पावर है? यूनियन के पास. एंड थर्ड इज विद रिस्पेक्ट टू दिस 42nd constitutional amendment, that is this have become part of concurrent list. 42nd constitutional amendment act के थ्रू इनको उठा के स्टेट लिस्ट से concurrent list में डाल दिया था. ये आपको याद रखना. Now this particular question, question number 10. यस, कौन सा वाला? Administration of justice, constitution and organization of all court except Supreme Court and High Court. Now administration of justice is happening at what? For example, at the union level and at the state level as well. So that is why it has been put. अगर मान लो कि अगर मैं कहता कि state list में ही है, now administration of justice is being put in the state list, then the union will be curbed of these powers. So why would union want कि मेरे को power ना मिले, है कि नहीं? तो with respect to that, the power has been shared. That is, union and state both can frame laws with respect to these. ठीक है सर? Yes, yes. कौन सा वाला? Yes. Constitution expressly secures predominance of union list over the state list. यही सेगमेंट है. अगर if there is a conflict between union list and state list over any matter, then which list will prevail? Union list will prevail. Simple. ज्यादा बाल की खाल नहीं निकालना है ना? नहीं. With respect to what is there, that is, it secures the predominance of union list. Suppose any kind of provisions are there. For example, with respect to किसी एक aspect पे, for example, any aspect with respect to marriage only. If union has made certain aspects, for example, union makes various kind of moral act, है ना? And state will also make certain kind of act. Concurrent list में दोनों बना सकते हैं. अब एक ही चीज पे दो लोगों ने बना दिया, तो कौन सा माना जाएगा? यूनियन लिस्ट का उस रिस्पेक्ट में. फॉर एग्जांपल, वंस अपॉन टाइम मैरिज के ऊपर बहुत सारे स्टेट्स ने अलग अलग अपना बनाया है ना? तो उसमें किसका माना जाएगा? नहीं तो देयर विल बी ऑलवेज एम्बिग्यूटी, है ना, विद रिस्पेक्ट टू दैट. तो उस रिस्पेक्ट में दैट इज प्रीडोमिनेंस ऑफ यूनियन लिस्ट ओवर दैट that is state list. That is a state list. Now next question is question number 10th regarding consider the following statement regarding parole. And एक क्वेश्चन ऐसा फॉरलॉ और पैरोल के ऊपर आया था. लेट्स सी द डिफरेंस बिटवीन पैरोल एंड फॉरलॉ. दैट इज, पैरोल क्या है? इट इज गिवन ऑन द अर्जेंट पर्सनल रीजन. किस पे? कि मान लीजिए आपकी फैमिली में कोई किसी की तबीयत खराब है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैरिज का प्रॉब्लम है, या फिर मैरिज का है, या फिर डेथ किसी को हो गई है. नाउ इन दिस पर्टिकुलर टाइम, नाउ दिस, अगर मान लीजिए आपको 1 महीने का पैरोल मिलता है कि नहीं? 1 महीने का पैरोल मिलता है. आप 10 साल की सजा काट रहे हैं. तो अब आप जब आएंगे, भले ही आप घर में गए, तो आपको क्या करना होगा? अगर आप घर गए हैं 1 महीने के लिए, आपको छुट्टी मिली है, पैरोल मिला है, तो 10 साल 1 महीने आपको काटना होगा. आर यू गेटिंग और नॉट? समझ में आ रहा है क्या? तो अगर आप मान लीजिए शादी के पर्पज से गए, तो आपको वो 10 साल मैंडेटरी है प्रिजन में काटना. पैरोल का मतलब क्या होता है? अंडर दिस, दैट इज, इट इज गिवन फॉर द अर्जेंट पर्सनल रीजन. That is not counted on the total sentence. Prisoner has to serve extra for the parole duration granted based on the personal circumstances. Not all prisoners are eligible. Are you getting or not? Second aspect is for law. It is a matter of right. कि मैंने 5 साल लगातार बहुत ही अच्छी तरीके से मैं प्रिजन के अंदर रहा हूं, राजा बाबू की तरह बहुत ही अच्छे से, जैसा वो बोल रहे हैं वैसा मैं काम कर रहा हूं. वैसी गतिविधि मैंने नहीं करी है प्रिजन के अंदर जैसा मैं बाहर करता था. यहां पर सबको मैंने अच्छे से पोर्ट्रे किया. Now given a break for good behavior. Now you have for example done that part, 5 साल तक बिना कुछ प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट किए, न्यूसेंस क्रिएट किए, आप अच्छे से रहे. तो now you are being given break for the good behavior. Now ताकि आपका भी सोशलाइजेशन हो, आपके फैमिली मेंबर भी भूल ना जाएं आपको, है कि नहीं? तो आप घर गए, थोड़ा देखे, and then given as a break for a good behavior without any emergency. It can be considered as a matter of right, but parole is not a matter of right. Counted on the total sentence. अब अगर 10 साल का है, 1 महीने के लिए आपको गए थे, तो उसमें ही काउंट हो जाएगा. नाउ यू वर बीइंग पार्ट ऑफ प्रिजन में ही काउंट होगा. समझ में आ रहा है क्या? इसमें क्या है? 10 महीने, 10 साल, 1 महीना आपको एक्स्ट्रा करना ही पड़ेगा. फॉरलो में ऐसा नहीं है. फॉरलो में क्या है? इट इज बिकॉज यू बीइंग अवॉर्डेड फॉर द गुड बिहेवियर. यू आर बीइंग अवॉर्डेड फॉर द गुड बिहेवियर. सो व्हाट इज हैपनिंग हियर? गिवन दैट इज एज अ ब्रेक फॉर द गुड बिहेवियर विदाउट एनी इमरजेंसी. विदाउट एनी इमरजेंसी. सी, थोड़ा सा देखते हैं, फिर थोड़ा सा समझते हैं. दैट इज पैरोल. एक सेकंड इसको कर लेते हैं इसको, फिर हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे. पैरोल इज अ सिस्टम ऑफ रिलीजिंग अ प्रिजनर विद द सस्पेंशन ऑफ द सेंटेंस. Suspension of sentence. The release is conditional and usually subject to the behavior and required periodic reporting to the authorities for a set period of for a set period of time. In India, parole as well as furlough are covered under the Prison Act of 1894. ये क्वेश्चन यूपीएससी ने बहुत बार पूछा हुआ है कि प्रिजन के रिगार्डिंग कहां पर कौन सा एक्ट है, दैट इज विद रिस्पेक्ट टू प्रिजन एक्ट ऑफ 1894. एंड प्रिजनर convicted of multiple murders or under the anti-terror unlawful prevention act are not eligible for parole. Now unlawful activities prevention act, it is majorly dealing with the terroristic activities, criminal law with respect to that. Yes, अब अगर unlawful activities prevention act के अंदर आप पकड़े गए हैं तो आपको क्या वो पैरोल मिलेगा? आप बताइए, नहीं मिलना चाहिए. Yes, and this particular statement has also been asked by UPSC. Prisons are a state subject. Prisons are a state subject in the constitution. The Prison Act of each state government defines the rules under which parole is granted in that state. The state government have their own prison rules or parole. ये याद रखना है. मैं क्यों इस पे emphasize कर रहा हूं कि 3 times UPSC in the recent years they have asked this question. Prison के ऊपर क्वेश्चन उन्होंने पूछा हुआ है. तो that is why I am emphasizing on this. फॉरलो के बारे में क्या है? It is a matter of right, and but many are not aware about this. Usually granted after 1 year in the jail, maximum 21 days a year, periodically granted periodically, but can be denied if there is sufficient reason, and it is treated as a remission of sentence. कि अगर आप 1 महीने के लिए घर में बिताए हैं, it will be considered as a remission of the sentence. No reasons have to be cited. यहाँ पर पैरोल के केस में reasons have to be cited. कि भैया किस कारण से आपको छुट्टी मिल रही है, कि भैया कोई घर में डेथ हो गई है, किसी की मैरिज है, किसी की इलनेस है, मैं ही हूं बस उसका रखवाला या फिर देखभाल करने के लिए, देन आई विल बी गिवन अ पैरोल. आर यू गेटिंग और नॉट? सो दैट पर्टिकुलर एस्पेक्ट इज देयर. लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड. यस, मैं एक बार बता दूं, वही मैं जान रहा था, बस एक बार मैं एक्सप्लेन कर देता हूं, फिर उसके बाद हम डिस्कस करेंगे. यस, द फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट इज, जो सर कह रहे हैं कि पैरोल रिफर्स टू टेम्परेरी रिलीज ऑफ प्रिजनर्स. जो क्वेश्चन बनाने वाले थे, वी हैव टॉक टू द टीम, उनका मैं कॉन्टेक्स्ट समझा देता हूं कि इन व्हाट कॉन्टेक्स्ट दे हैव बिल्ट. दैट इज पैरोल रिफर्स टू टेम्परेरी रिलीज ऑफ प्रिजनर फॉर अ स्पेसिफिक पीरियड. यहां तक कोई गड़बड़ है क्या? ड्यूरिंग विच प्रिजनर इज स्टिल कंसीडर्ड टू बी सर्विंग देयर सेंटेंस. जब वो जा रहा है बाहर, तब भी तो वो सर्व ही कर रहा है. एक सेकंड, मैं कह रहा हूं कि हाँ, प्रिजनर इज स्टिल कंसीडर्ड टू बी सर्विंग देयर सेंटेंस ऑल्दो नॉट विद इन द प्रिजन प्रीमाइसेस. अब आप कह रहे हैं कि सर देखो, स्टेटमेंट थोड़ा सा एम्बिगियस हुआ है. नाउ वी हैव आल्सो अंडरस्टूड दैट द स्टेटमेंट हैज बिकम एम्बिगियस एंड इट सीम्स दैट इट इज रॉन्ग. लेकिन जब मैंने उनसे, मतलब द क्वेश्चन पेपर सेटर, जब उनसे पूछा तो उन्होंने कहा कि सर व्हाट वी हैव थॉट. अब ये इसमें क्या होना चाहिए, मेरा भी ओपिनियन क्या है कि फर्स्ट ऑप्शन क्या होना चाहिए, गलत होना चाहिए. मेरा भी ओपिनियन क्या है कि फर्स्ट ऑप्शन शुड बी रॉन्ग. व्हाई? बिकॉज इट इज सेइंग दैट prisoner is still considered to be serving their sentence although not within the prison premises. Then why extra 1 month? है ना, अगर वो prison उसमें ही काउंट हो रहा है तो we have asked that, but what they have said कि सर मैंने उस सेंस में नहीं बनाया था, and it is his opinion, but that kind of ambiguity will not be there in the UPSC examination. Here it is the ambiguity, that is prisoner is still considered to be serving the sentence. लेकिन वो तो सर अभी जेल का ही पार्ट है ना सर, उन्होंने ऐसा बोला, but that still makes the statement ambiguous. According to me, first statement should be wrong. ठीक है, किसी को कोई डाउट है? Yes. Next is with respect to, थोड़ा सा हम लोग को जल्दी करना होगा क्योंकि we are already running late. That is regulation governing parole, including conditions and eligibilities, are addressed under the state specific act. Very important line. Why I am saying this? Multiple times asked by UPSC. If you see the PYQs, multiple times. Rules derived from aligned with the Prison Act of 1894. Correct है? Correct है भाई? Correct है? Everyone? Yes. And third is parole eligibility excludes individual convicted of grave offences such as multiple homicides or terroristic activities under the statutes like Unlawful Activities Preventions Act UAPA. तो why they should be given? है ना, टेररिस्ट वगैरह को क्यों? मसूद अजहर को थोड़ी पैरोल दोगे क्या? आप लोग का कोई भरोसा नहीं है सर. That is now next question number 70. Question number 70. That is, even Indian government at that particular time when this particular negotiation was going on with respect to IC 814, hijacking was there and media was pagal at that mad कि क्या करना चाहिए, इंडिया को निगोशिएट करना चाहिए, इसी फ्लाइट में बैठे हुए हैं, ऐसे ही तो निगोशिएट करना है. पीपल आर कॉलिंग देम कि मैं होता तो मैं ऐसे करता. पीपल आर कॉलिंग कि मैं तो मिलिट्री में था तो मैं तो ऐसे करता, मैंने इस तरीके से कंडक्ट करते हैं नेगोशिएशंस को, ऐसे कंडक्ट करते हैं। इंडियन गवर्नमेंट बिकेम वेरी वेरी फ्रस्ट्रेटेड और इतना प्रेशर डाल दिया इंडियन मीडिया ने कि हो सकता था कि उस टाइम पे मसूद अजहर को छोड़ा ना जाता और कुछ और बेटर वे हो सकता था, तरीका हो सकता था, लेकिन इतना प्रेशर कर दिया इंडियन मीडिया ने कि वो निगोशिएशन हो ही नहीं पाए। फिर हम लोगों ने मसूद अजहर को दिया एंड देन वी हैव सीन इंडियन पार्लियामेंट अटैक एंड ऑल। तो ऐसी गलती हम नहीं कर सकते हैं, ये बचकानी हरकतें इंडियन गवर्नमेंट कैन डू बट वी शुड नॉट। Media can also, yes. Consider the following statement regarding ordinances. The authority of president to promulgate ordinances during the recess of parliament is conferred Article 123 of the Constitution of India. Very very simple. किसी को doubt है? Yes, Article 123 and 312 that we know. Then an ordinances may cease to be effective prematurely if both the houses of parliament pass resolution disapproving it. सही है? And if it is not approved within 6 weeks of reassembly of the parliament in any case of urgency, अगर कोई भी एक पार्लियामेंट का कोई भी एक पार्ट नहीं है, then they can promulgate these ordinances. But अगर reassembly के बाद उन्होंने disapprove कर दिया, then that will be discontinued. And an ordinance holds equivalent force and effect as an act of parliament. That is correct statement. And second is also correct. And first is also correct. Correct answer should be here. Correct answer should be all three. Then next is with respect to exercise Garud Shakti, India and Indonesia. Yes, that is correct. India and Indonesia. Match the following में क्वेश्चन पूछा जाएगा ऐसा कि they will be mentioning various kind of exercises and they will be mentioning various countries. So try to remember, एक पेज आएगा with respect to any magazine that you are memorizing, एक पेज होगा उसमें याद कर डालो. And the primary focus is to enhance interoperability in jungle warfare and counter-insurgency operations. That is also correct. But the exercise is conducted annually under the framework of UN लिखा हुआ है. No, it is a bilateral exercise. ठीक है, याद रहेगा क्या? So third statement is wrong. Then next question is question number 5 is consider the following statement regarding the New India Literacy Program. Full literacy का क्या mention है definition? 95%, not 100%. यहाँ पर लिखा हुआ है the program defines full literacy as achieving 100% literacy rate. लेकिन if you will see New India Literacy Program, full literacy की जो definition है, it is with respect to 95%. That is literacy rate in the state or union territory. अगर ऐसे statement में एक statement अगर आपने पकड़ लिया कि कौन सा statement गलत है, तो question becomes very very easy. कि आपको पता चल गया कि first statement is wrong, आप correct answer would be statement 1 is incorrect, second statement पक्का ही पक्का सही है कि नहीं, उसमें ज्यादा दिमाग लगाना नहीं है. That is अगर आपको एक statement पता है, for sure if you are knowing, then you can easily answer these type of questions. तो इसको आप देख लेंगे. Then next with respect to this question number 17, consider the following statement about प्रधानमंत्री सूर्य घर मुफ्त बिजली योजना. सूर्य घर मुफ्त बिजली योजना, that is the scheme offers subsidy that covers 100% लिखा हुआ है. It covers 40% of the cost. 60% will be paid by that person जिसको जो beneficiary है of installing solar panels on the household. That is 40% of the cost. It is coming around the 300 unit of free electricity per month to the eligible household. That it aims to provide 300 units of free electricity per month to eligible household. So first statement is wrong, second statement is correct. And DISCOM here is just facilitating. It is not a nodal authority, nodal agency responsible for the implementation. It is just facilitating in terms of net meter availability or installation के respect में DISCOM distribution companies are just facilitating the things, not as a nodal agency. So third statement is wrong. First statement is with respect to how much? 40% of the cost. So first and third statement is wrong. Correct answer would be only one. Then next is Jal Vahak scheme. It is with respect to cargo movement. It is with respect to cargo movement in the India's inland waterways. If you will see, it is applicable to the national waterway of 1, that is Ganga river pe, 2 with respect to Brahmaputra, and with respect to 16, that is on the Barak river. National waterway का आपको डायग्राम बना के एक ही पूरे पेज में वो सारे वाटरवेज को आपको कम से कम पता होना चाहिए कौन कौन से स्टेट में है. आर यू गेटिंग और नॉट? ये खुद से करना है, ये एक्सरसाइज करना है. दैट इज इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट. इवन यूपीएससी हैज आस्क्ड, इफ यू गो फ्रॉम फॉर एग्जांपल मिजोरम से आप जाते हो और अगर आपको सदन में केरला की कोटायाम में पहुंचना है, तो how many minimum state that you should be passing? You will be passing. They can frame the question like this कि national waterway के थ्रू जाना है, अगर तो अगर नॉर्थ ईस्ट से जाना है तो कितने नेशनल वाटरवे को आप क्रॉस करोगे, दैट टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चन दे कैन आस्क एज वेल. तो यू शुड बी ऑलवेज रेडी कि दिल्ली से एक स्ट्रेट लाइन खींची है तो कौन से सिटी को काटेगी, है कि नहीं. फॉर एग्जांपल ये क्वेश्चन 3 बार पूछा है कि अगर आप देखोगे 1950 अगर ज्योग्राफी के 1995 से 2024 से क्वेश्चन किया आपने तो यू विल फाइंडिंग दैट राजस्थान से एक सीधी लाइन खींचा गया है. इफ यू विल ड्रॉ अ स्ट्रेट लाइन फ्रॉम राजस्थान तो एंड इफ इट इज जॉइनिंग वन ऑफ द सिटी इन द सिक्किम तो कौन से स्टेट को काटेगी, कौन कौन से सिटीज को काटेगी, सच टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चंस हैव बीन आस्क्ड बाय यूपीएससी, है ना, मल्टीपल टाइम्स. सो यू शुड बी डूइंग दैट. तो कोशिश करेंगे कि ऐसे चीजों को छोड़े नहीं. एंड इट इज विद रिस्पेक्ट टू प्रोवाइड 30% ऑफ द रीइंबर्समेंट ऑफ टोटल ऑपरेटिंग एक्सपेंडिचर फॉर ट्रांसपोर्टिंग गुड्स ओवर डिस्टेंसेस एक्सीडिंग 300 किलोमीटर via specific national waterways. That is also correct statement, very very factual one. Jal Vahak scheme is with respect to promoting cargo movement in India's inland waterways. National waterway 1, 2 and 16. 1 is with respect to joining Prayagraj to Haldia. Waterway 2, that is Dhubri to Sadia, and that is 16 is with respect to Lakhipur to Bhanga in the Barak river. याद रखना है. With respect to waterways also you should be remembering. With this we are closing the class. If you have any doubt we can definitely consult. और अभी शायद ज्योग्राफी वाला पोर्शन होगा, सर विल बी वेटिंग फॉर यू गाइस. तो अगर देखते हैं बता दिया जाएगा अभी कि अगर सर वेट कर रहे होंगे बिकॉज सर वाज वेटिंग फॉर यू, तो अभी शायद ज्योग्राफी वाला पोर्शन भी अगर वो करवा सकते हैं तो वो भी करवा देंगे. ठीक है, अखिलेश सर विल बी वेटिंग फॉर यू.